Actually live, no.
Go live. We are now going live.
Very well.
We are now live. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. There we go. There is the mixer. Good. Hello.
Mixer?
The audio mixer.
Oh, okay.
I was checking audio levels. Because I said hello, we're live, and just oddly felt very lonely, and I was just like, is there a mic on? Is it? I don't know. Just suddenly it felt weird for a moment.
It felt weird.
Yeah.
And then there was a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, hello everyone. How are we all doing? There we are. Let's see. We have replaced the squeaky chairs. Give a wiggle. There we go.
I'm concerned by how much movement there is on them, though.
That's mostly the uneven floor, and yeah, there's a bit of movement. I mean, again, these are cheapest stools on Amazon kind of thing.
I'll have you know, I went for the second cheapest stools.
Yeah, well, yeah. However, the important thing is that because these are not gas strut stools, because everyone always says, "Oh, the screws are loose." It's not the screws.
No.
It's just the gas struts are bad and fail. So whereas these ones have no struts in them, so therefore, I've turned mine the wrong way round. So
in theory, they cannot fail.
Yes. Well, I mean, they can certainly fail, but they're not going to fail squeaky at the very least. So,
or just suddenly become 2 inches tall.
Yes.
Hello.
It will certainly be a much more dramatic failure because it will probably involve one of us sort of going behind the counter with a very loud yelp, I'd imagine.
Let my wife know I love her.
Let's see. Oh, my ultra-wide monitor has stopped working. Watching this on an old 4x3 18-year-old monitor. Oof. That's a big downgrade. Rip your monitor. Right, yes, good afternoon, everyone. What's up, Diane Landshark? And everyone else as well. I'm just picking out a random name on the chat and just saying hello. Let's see, is the audio a tad low or is it just you? The audio does look a little bit on the low side. It depends. I don't know. I think that's why I was like, are we okay? We're just about touching the red. I don't know. What does everyone else think? I can turn the mic up slightly. Let's do a quick audio test. If I go butts, yeah, that could be a little bit higher if I'm honest. I shall nudge it up just a tad.
Ooh, just a little bit. Ooh, just a little bit more.
Let's just dial that up to 3. Oh,
that's 30.
My bad. Sorry for a moment, everyone there. It's really annoying that it takes the gain and rolls with that before you actually click save or close. So if I just, when I'm changing the gain level, if I accidentally just fat finger a 0 on there, yeah.
Hi, Chris. You're awake now.
THX, the audience is listening. This is what the limiter is for. Alright, there we go. The audio looks a little bit higher now. Right. Let's see. Okay, we're all there. You need new eardrums. I'm sorry. Everyone blame whoever it was that said it's too quiet. So, yes. Good. Right, how are we all doing? Thanks everyone for coming. We don't have much of a plan today, if we're honest. We're just kind of existing today. But there are, as usual, there are things on the counter and things to tinker with. So yeah, I thought we'd vibe for a bit today, and we've got a random thing. Caradog's brought in an old Fluke 75. Is it yours, or is that just what's this? Where did this thing come from?
It came from my maternal grandfather.
Fair enough.
And it is mine by process of it not being anyone else's.
Yes. Due to you being the successor.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is that because you said it's not reading voltages properly, but was it working before, or you just pulled it out?
Yeah. This is and has been my main multimeter for the entirety of the time I've known what a multimeter is.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's actually kind of a bummer that it's not working then, because it's a classic Fluke 75, which is actually kind of cool.
Yes.
So yeah.
I can annoy people by having the nice Fluke and then not having a clue what I'm doing.
Yeah. Where's the... There's the focus, so people can look at the flukeness. There we go. So yes, it's an old Fluke 75. Train spotters. There's no versions on there. So train spotters. See if you can tell what year that is. Who knows? I don't. I don't know much about Fluke history. I know what the gist of why Flukes are good and why that Flukes are not necessarily like a lot of people say they're the holy grail of multimeters. They're a certain type of multimeter. You don't need a Fluke to have a good multimeter.
If I remember correctly, there's a year inside.
Oh, that's probably cool. Yeah. Well, let's open that up while we're looking at it. Then, where is my larger? Oh, it's just behind. Can you reach that? Next to the MacBook Air, directly behind you, is the P1, the PH one rather. Or yeah, I suppose the big one will probably do. Those are very big screws, actually. Yeah, let's open this thing up and look at it while we chat. Bench cam. Let's see what's inside this guy. Let's see, which multimeter would I suggest? Middle range price. I'm the wrong person to ask for that, if I'm honest, because historically I've always liked cheap multimeters. I'm in the market for a new multimeter, to be honest, because simply because I'm outgrowing. I currently use an Aneng 8N008, which is a super cheap multimeter. It's like one of the cheapest, not awful things you can get. But I'm kind of at the limits of what it's really good for, so I want to get something a bit upmarket. But I'm currently stuck between wanting to buy a handheld multimeter or buying a bench multimeter, because if I get a bench multimeter, it will be easier to get on-screen numbers in the videos. So, yeah. Let's see. Right, have we got any... That's very clean inside, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's probably a year on the back of the PCB somewhere, is my guess. Battery should... Oh, that's a good point, actually. Have you checked the battery on it?
No. It is... Oh, it's not got a year on that side.
Yeah, because if it's just got a flat battery...
Oh, it's March 2022.
Yeah, it might be the battery's just reached the end of life then, and it's just throwing the calibration out. Because that's a thing that can happen. If you pop that battery out, I'll measure it with my multimeter. You can get some double.
Is there supposed to be a hole in that?
A hole in the battery?
No, in that red.
Oh. Oh, that's probably your problem. I don't know. Actually, the other one has as well. I don't know what those are at first blush. Actually, hang on a sec. We'll get the camera on those, and someone can tell us whether that looks right or not.
Oh, there is a screw under there.
Yeah. Oh, the battery's solid, 9.4. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. You still got your 37-year-old one. Nice. Do you still have the Vichy 97 multimeter? I do. I don't use it as my main, but I still have it. The reason why I switched to...
I wondered if those were years.
Oh, 83 date code could be? Yeah. Failing that, we've got CAD 585 Rev K there. That would be that would probably allow us to date this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to quickly smash that into Google.
There's also a thing with a like screwdriver head in it which can
an adjuster. Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder if that allows you to tweak stuff as well.
Maybe. What was that number again? 585.
CAD 585 Rev K.
Rev K. Google said... Oh, did not match any document. Oh, okay. Let's just go do CAD 585 then. Wow, Google is astonishingly useless for that. Must include CAD 585. Really? How is that not giving results? Okay. All right. Well... I'm not sure of the answer to that. What if I do CAD space 585? Oh yeah, no. Google is giving me no useful results for that, which astonishes me. Like, because there's got to be a million train spotters out there for Fluke multimeters. So
what about that?
Oh, that there you go. Fluke 7X3001. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Right. So what is this then? Fluke 7X. What was it? Dash
3001.
3001. Right, and what was it? Fluke 75, yeah. The problem is they do updated revisions. The thing with Fluke multimeters is the Fluke 75 will have been in production for donkey's years.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And so there'll be a million different revisions. So that's why I'm trying to type in these numbers, because I'm expecting it to pop up and say, oh, this is the, the Rev K was in production between the following years kind of thing. That's what I was expecting to do here. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not actually seeing what I'm expecting. Oh, here's something. Fluke 70. Oh, it's hard to tell. 1984, I think. Archive.org result here. Did you actually turn the pot just then? By the way.
No.
No, he didn't turn it. Don't worry, because that's calibration. So
yeah.
It's a case of it could be twiddled, but he did not actually twiddle it. Fluke 70 series. No, I'm not sure. Would need a train spotter to figure that one out. However, at any rate, so yeah, the actual fault with this thing is that it's not reading voltages correctly. So I have not done any research into troubleshooting one of these guys, but I figured what we could do is just open it up and just see if there's any obvious issues with it. So what we might do in a minute is just look over it very carefully and look for cracked solder joins or any obviously failed parts. We did just point out just then, we did spot these red components here because they've actually got split in them. However, both of them have. So it looks like that's a deliberately cut slot. So yeah, anyone know what these fellas are, just out of interest? Because they have an actually deliberate slot cut into them by the looks of things. Are those spark gaps by any chance? Because I think these things have spark gap protection. Based on just a random result I saw.
I mean, it does say to avoid damage or injury, use only in protected circuits which cannot exceed 4,000 volt amps.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Let's see.
Yeah. I was also wondering if we could guess, because the Hampshire area code on here is not the current Hampshire area code.
Oh, so yes.
So it's pre-reassignment of area codes.
Oh, yes, supplied by Electroplan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could age it based on that, of saying it is at least X age, but I can't find the dates for when the reassignment happened.
Fair enough. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing so there's nothing that's jumping out of me of going sort of, oh, that guy definitely looks like it's gone. It's died. What I might do though, I might go into poor man's microscope mode and just see if we can spot any broken traces or cracked solder joints, because that's probably the most likely. Although, like, the solder joints on this thing look really shiny where it's all leaded solder. But just purely by age alone, it may have fatigued there. So yeah, let's have a look there. Right. Okay. I'm gonna.
Also, just wondering what that is.
That's the beeper, I assume. How does that contact?
Yeah, that was kind of my point. I was just like, what?
Good question. What's going on with this guy? I'm assuming that's the beeper. But I can't figure out how that contacts unless it's
unless like these two bits literally just push into it.
I think that might be the case. Hard to tell. No, these are part of the rotary selector.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's the beeper. Yeah, I just can't figure out how it contacts anything. But yeah, there'll be it must contact on just some contacts here. Let's get a close up look at this board and just see if we can spot anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
So let's go for the big close and
focus.
The focus. I'll do my best AVE impression and go focus, you fuck. Right, I'm going to give myself a big preview so I can. Ah, yes, now I can see that we're not in focus. This is why it's important to have a full screen preview. There we go, that's better.
This is why it's important to learn to focus.
Alright, so starting at the bottom of the board, here are all of the lugs and stuff. See what I mean? These joins look really shiny where it's all leaded solder. They haven't got that unleaded tarnish to them. What's going on there? Some of those legs look a bit weird. I'm just going to bring the camera up so I can tilt the board. Is that normal? Like, I don't know where those legs have gone if they were there, but is that normal? Does anyone know? I'm not sure if that's supposed to look like that. Like, that one, there's no trace going up to that leg, so that's obviously normal. Same there. So there are generally some traces missing, but like there, I don't know if that was dev stuff, or those could be going under. Yeah. Okay. Like that doesn't look broken though. Like where would those legs have gone? You know, so I'm guessing that's supposed to be like that. Right.
They just vanished into the ether one evening.
Yeah. Checking over, looking for cracks. What's that? That's fine. Looking for anything that might be a dry joint or a crack or something like that. What's going on with that trace there? That a damaged bit. Let's go for the big close-up on that. That could be something. Whoop. I don't think so. I don't think that trace is damaged. I think that's just I think that's a smudge on the silk on the. I think that's just a smudge on the top layer. Where does that go? That goes to that point and that point. So we could easily buzz that out and just check if there's a connection there. Okay, I'm going to pull the focus back a bit just so I can see more of it. Let's see. Now set. What's the failure mode of the meter? It's not measuring voltage correctly. We should probably turn it on and just reproduce the fault in a sec and just see if it's getting like resistances and stuff like that.
Yeah, because basically what it did is it measured a battery that was at 9.9, 10-ish volts as 3 volts. So it's just kind of going, that is very much not correct.
This is all display stuff, so...
Yeah. But yeah, it was just a case of just that and being somewhat confused.
Yeah, all those solder joints look really good. Apart from that trace there, where it's just like, I don't know, that could be something. I don't think that's a cracked joint anywhere. Okay, anything to see on the top of the board? Everyone looks okay up there. See, again, it could be like reference voltage that's incorrect or something like that. Everyone looks okay in there. Again, I'm just looking at the base of all these components, just seeing if I can see anything screamingly wrong.
Yeah.
There's the weird slotted parts. Again, there's a big close-up of that. Again, I think that's a spark gap, but I might be completely wrong.
It definitely looks manufactured, the gap, as opposed to
that's
blown or ripped.
It's not a crack, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, because it is very clean.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, visual inspection looks fine then.
Yeah.
All right. Let's turn it on and see how it behaves. Whoop.
Yeah.
Also check the probes. Yeah, that's yeah. It's worth doing anyway.
Whoop.
Right, we'll roughly smash this back together again, and we'll see what it does. Board actually looks great for its age. Yeah, it's very clean, isn't it?
Yeah, I did dust it a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Probably when I put that battery in there.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
I just kind of went, oh, there's a little bit of dust there.
Yeah, I'm just impressed at how just like those solder joints are not remotely tarnished. Like they're still shiny. They're like it's a mirror finish on the back of them, whereas you'd expect it to be that just dull silver satin finish, but they were all like super shiny and mirror.
Yeah.
Let's see. Customer laptop won't boot from USB. Won't boot from any hard drive, but its original one. Won't boot from a clone. Huh. What laptop is it? What make and model? See if we can determine like whether it's doing it by design, like a feature or something. All right. Let's plug in the probes and let's get a voltage reference. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll just grab a battery because that's as good as any.
Absolutely.
Where is my? There it is.
Where are my batteries?
Yes.
On the floor.
Shh. Suddenly lipo fire.
That would be impressive.
Yes. Right. Okay. So let's do a quick comparison, just to see that we get the same results. Yes, thank you. I managed to do a perfect position there where you couldn't see anything. Right, so my multimeter says this 4-cell LiPo is at 14.77. That's a very confident 14.77.
And what's it say in reverse?
And in reverse,
it should say 14.77.
Yeah. Minus 14.77 or 78, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That makes absolute sense.
Yes.
Right. Now you show me yours.
Thought I was about to skewer myself. Quite indelicately.
14.7273. Okay. Oh, it's going to work now, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Well,
that's bizarre. Because on one multimeter last night, I was reading 10 volts, 9.9, 10 volts, plugged it into the charger, 9.9, 10 volts, measured it with this, 5 volts.
Yeah.
Checked a USB supply with this 2 days ago, and it measured like 2.7 volts.
Yeah.
And then in reverse, like 2.8. But it was USB at 5 volt. And I'm like, what are you doing?
That's odd. So maybe a bad connection somewhere, and either just by virtue of the fact that we've just all the probes have come out and we've unboxed and put and done all that. Maybe it's just come good from there. Well, that's boring, but also at the same time good. It works again. So yes. However, that's a bit like sort of we should have tried it before we took it apart, because now we don't know if it came good just on its way over here, or whether us taking it apart and putting it back together again has done something.
Yeah.
So could be the probes. It could have been, Test an AC wall outlet. Yeah, we could do. This is just a battery. I mean, we could try bashing it with a couple of other different voltages. Let's. I'll just hook up my bench power supply and we'll just try hitting it over the head with a couple of varying voltages and see what it does.
Oh, that's the range. I couldn't work. It said range. I was like, but there's no button. Meaning it was indicating the icon in the middle of the rotary.
If I'm a bit smart, I can get you guys an on-screen display for this. Right. Let's put that in there.
I just found how you set the range on this thing.
Right.
It's literally the button that's labelled range.
I auto range everything. I'm a baddie. I just always auto range. It's yeah. Right, can I have a window capture? I need a window capture. Window capture. Let's use an existing one because apparently it's there. And give me DC power supply. There we go. Right, let's sneak that down to there and move it behind the camera.
Magical.
Right, turn on. There we go. Right, so now let's adjust the camera so it can see the display.
It's impressive how clear the display is as well for something that's
it is, isn't
50 years old.
It's sometimes old LCDs really are just the best. But also, again, this is one of the things that you'd be paying for with a Fluke, is to have a really nice crystal clear LCD that has a really good reflectiveness to it. So yeah, right. So let's go 1 volt. 1 volt, cool. 6 volts.
Yeah.
10 volts. 16.
Yeah. Weird. I was half expecting you to set it to 10 volts and it read 3 again. Yeah. And I'd be like, haha, see? I wasn't mad.
32. That's as high as this power supply goes. So yeah, that's a bit of a shaky 32. If I drop that down to 30, does that go accurate again? Probably. To be honest, I trust this multimeter more than the power supply. Also, there's going to be some losses across the leads and things like that. So
yeah, however,
I don't have super high quality leads. But yeah, this multimeter seems to be fine. So actually, I think there's nothing to report here. I'll try dropping it down into millivolts, so you can try the lower ranges. So let's drop that down to 200 millivolts. So now if you go into find the millivolts range, there you go, 200 millivolts.
Yeah. It seems to read fractionally high up until about 3 volts, 4 volts, I think it was you set on there. And then it seems to read slightly under. Yeah.
Although, again, I would trust the reading from this more than this power supply, to be honest. Because
There's no certificate of conformality with this, though.
What, you think that's got a certificate of conformality?
It's 50 years newer.
Yeah, it's also just cheap switching power supply, though, you know. I mean, it's good enough for repair, don't get me wrong. However, yeah, I mean, it would. I'd imagine this thing is probably fairly on the nose if you actually gave it a reference supply.
I wonder if Fluke UK will still calibrate these.
Probably, because again, that's what you're paying for with Fluke. Yeah. That's the reason why Flukes cost silly money. Is you could probably send this over to Fluke and they will probably calibrate it for you. Heck, they'll probably do it on the cheap. You know, if they do charge, they probably charge a very reasonable amount of money just to recalibrate it, because that's the point. Recently, EEV blog did a couple of videos about Fluke multimeters explaining why they're expensive and what's the deal with Fluke. And
and just the fact of because the same model will get produced for so many years.
That's right.
And obviously all of your spec guides and everything will be based on
this. Like, imagine you're in the Royal Engineers, you know, so you're in military engineers, either US Army or UK Army or whatever. Military engineers, they have manuals for everything. You know, those manuals were probably written in 1902 with the Fluke 001, and that Fluke 001 is still in production in the year 2022 and works exactly the same way. And they'll keep making that, because if they change the model, the Army has to go and print all those manuals again and retrain everyone for the new device.
Yeah.
And so the reason is that they will make the same model and it will work exactly the same way and behave exactly the same way and have exactly the same switches, and they'll make that model for decades, like clockwork, and they'll supply parts for it for decades, and that's why they're expensive. So if that's something that is useful to you, they're worth every penny. But if you're just a home user and you just need a multimeter, there are multimeters that are just as good and cost half the price.
Yeah.
So
this option here that says 300 millivolts, is that going to be effectively a very, very low voltage but enhanced precision option?
Yes.
By comparison to that. So if we do that, is that now going to give me an even more enhanced version? Yeah.
Yeah. It has given you another point of accuracy. Yeah. So yeah, we're down to
and there's no range on that mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not very good with knowing my ranges and stuff like for amps and for the amps range. The reason why we have 2 inputs for the amps range is that this will go through 2 different current shunts.
Yeah.
So that's why there are actually two plugs on most multimeters. Is the milliamp range goes through a different shunt resistor in order to get the resolution, and obviously the milliamp shunt resistor, if you put amps through that, you'll just blow it up. So that's why there's multiple inputs on a multimeter. For the voltage, I don't know. Presumably, they probably have a separate circuit in order to get that resolution. And yeah, but interestingly, that's giving us some. I mean, that's I don't know how much what it means that it's changing that much, because it's wavering a bit. But again, we're down into the, what is that, hundreds of microvolts, or no, tens of microvolts, won't it be? Because this is millivolts
of microvolts. Yes.
Yeah, but yes, like I say, I'm terrible with ranges. Interesting. Let's see. You got a Binford 3000. It has more power. Define power in a multimeter. But yeah, fair enough. Cool. All right. Well, we seem to be good. What happens when we set it to measure AC voltage on the meter, but measuring DC voltage? You'll see the ripple. If you set it to AC,
we should then get a fraction of a.
We might.
No, I do not have a more accurate AC mode.
Yeah. However, what we're seeing here is the ripple. So we're seeing, what's that, 1 millivolt of ripple? Which is about what we were seeing on the thing. So that's showing us the ripple now, because it's showing us the peak-to-peak voltage.
So if we connect up the battery, we'll get 0.
Yes, because batteries by nature are 100% stable.
Yeah.
Although we'd have to get a really good connection on these. I might need to grab a connector, but if we plug that in, oh, there we go. 0. Yeah, and we've got that down to 0. I'm just pressing the probes into that at the moment. And that will be true stability. That's cool. Ripple is a weird one. I want to know more about measuring the ripple in AC mode and stuff like that.
I also just find it very interesting that not connected to anything shows way bigger ripple than even the power supply did.
We can probably get some piezo effects off of that. There you go. That's enough to knock it.
Yeah.
Just that knocking of the probes there. What I'm doing here, just so people can see, I'm just tapping the probes there, and that piezoelectric effect is enough to induce a voltage when you're reading in low voltage. But that's that.
That's really
cool. All right. Is it reading it from air? Yeah. Yes, effectively, because there's capacitance everywhere. Although if you really want to look at interesting stuff that's in the air, you want to look at an oscilloscope. Because with an oscilloscope can show you the waveforms that you're seeing. Heck, is my scope nearby? My pocket scope? Or is it down there actually? Yes, in the box.
Oh yes.
My pocket scope is there. Again, I'm not very experienced with doing this kind of thing, so I'm kind of butchering a lot of this. But what I'll do is watch this guy not be charged. It's not charged. Hang on a minute. Let me get a.
I was going to say, do you literally have a bench power supply? Why does it need to be charged?
Because it's USB converted.
Oh.
All of my stuff has USB conversions on it, just so I can USB charge them. Because otherwise, if I were running everything off the bench power supply, it's a pain to set up.
I thought it just had a little lug that you could.
Yeah. It used to. Originally this thing is designed to run on a thing, but I've converted it to USB power. So yeah, I really need to buy a proper scope. I keep saying I'm going to, and then just not.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna. Yeah, that should be given a sec to actually put some power into. Actually, I'll catch up on the chat, and then we'll try that. I think that the battery in this has probably run down to stone zero because it doesn't have any meaningful protection in it or anything. It's a very ghetto conversion. Let's turn off the bench power supply. Bam. Get rid of that. Get rid of all of that. Cool.
Sorry, just looking at the software. Does that mean you can you actually do logging?
Yes, I can do. I've never tried logging with it before. Yeah.
So in theory, you could plug a battery into it and charge it on there, and then log it charging.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah. The software for this is it's a bit janky. Although there's third-party software that's also pretty good, and also there's third-party software that gives much nicer graphs. But ironically, despite getting it set up and working, I haven't been using it in videos because it gives really nice analog meters that look very pretty, but they're actually quite difficult to integrate into repair videos. Because like in a repair video, I don't want a big analog VU meter because that looks very nice, but just having a janky digital meter under my camera is a lot easier for people to actually see in the video.
Yeah.
Because all they need to see is that I'm reading 1 volt at 3 amps or something like that. It doesn't need to be any more exotic than that. So, let's see. Got an old CRT scope on the desk. Oh, yeah, I every now and then I go looking for one of those. Is this thing actually charging? I'm not seeing a blue charge light in there. I think it might be very, very upset. It's very, very upset. We're not going to be able to do this demonstration. I think that might need resetting. Let's replug the thing. Oh, it tried.
Yeah, it's this. I think this is tripping it. Hold on, I'll fiddle.
Okay, yeah. If I plug this into the bench charger, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, because it thinks the voltage of the battery is too low.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Which is why I was saying this has got confused.
Ah, okay. Righto. I will carry on back reading the chat while you have a tinker with that. Ciao. Let's see. Yes. Well, what I was going to demonstrate is if we hook up the scope, we can actually tune that just to pick up the 50 hertz hum in the air, which is literally all I was going to do. Is just go, look, we can see the 50 hertz AC hum in the air. It's picking up a signal out of thin air.
See, because the light wasn't tracing, it thought that this was below the voltage of these batteries.
Ah, I see.
So it then wouldn't supply. And now it should actually supply. Yeah, it's supplying 5 volts now.
Yeah,
and you've got a red light.
Let's just see if that's actually stable if I power that on. Ooh. No, I'm going to turn that off because the battery's too low. You see the flickering on the screen there. Yeah.
You were pulling 2 milliamps apparently.
Yeah. At one point. It should be charging at like an amp or something when it actually gets going. But the LiPo cell that I've put in this, I think, has gone critically low. So it's probably trickle charging.
Oh, there we go. It's just to hit an amp.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's actually
1.1 amps. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll give that a minute and then we'll maybe demonstrate it. It won't be worth it because I'll be like, there you go. That's it. We've kind of taken too long to do this, and now the payoff isn't going to be worth the hassle and the waffle. However, hooray!
Oh, you're not on that camera.
I can switch back to it.
I was simply just going to go, the screws are in. Do not worry.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remembered that.
Yep. It has been screwed back together. There we go. Okay, well.
I'm pleased it works.
Yes.
I would have been super sad if it had stopped working.
That would have been a bummer because it's a nice old multimeter.
Yeah.
And those are cool. I've still got one of my granddad's old multimeters somewhere that's an analog one. If I knew where it was off the top of my head, I would show it just so I can be like, cool, here's my granddad's old multimeter. It's not a Fluke, it's a Robin. And
still.
I don't know if Robin are actually a prestigious brand or not. Does anyone Robin multimeters, are they actually an interesting brand? I I had a Robin multimeter as a kid, and then I got my granddad's old one, and I used that for a long time. But then I got a different one because it's an analog one, and analog multimeters are charming but not useful. That's a hot take that I'm sure a lot of people will get very angry with me about. But yeah,
I feel like the correct comment is they are charming but less useful.
Yes, yeah. I think that seems like a politically correct neutral statement. A digital multimeter is easier to get an accurate reading from. Although then someone's going to be like, "Oh, if it's analog, you technically have infinite resolution." It's like,
no,
yeah,
no,
you can't read infinite resolution. Though. Anyway, so yeah, it's only interesting if it's round. Yeah, that I can understand. Yeah, like if
because
it's got
then it's a round robin.
Very good, very good.
Before you started incorrectly attempting to explain.
Yes. I have a... Yeah. I'm looking for it now because I'm just going to have a very casual look just because I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll get that out. I haven't had that out in a while.
I'll very casually look in one of the 87 boxes.
Yeah.
It is conveniently hidden just...
Well, I know what the case looks like. And like, if I can just see it poking out, I'll be like, there it is.
It's that one.
Yeah.
Does it come with a little, like suede or leather case with, some fur trimming or something?
It's a leather case.
Ah.
No fur trimming though.
Still, that is reasonably swish and upmarket. I also realised completely failed to point that light anywhere actually near where we are. That light is very much just pointing over there.
Nah, it's got a wash with it. No, I'm giving up on finding my multimeter. The annoying thing is, I know I'll one more check.
Oh, maybe it's here. Maybe it's this one.
Oh, that's a different one.
This is a different massively old meter I have.
Here's a good one for everyone to look at, as I'm sure everyone will appreciate. There we go. How about that for a multimeter? For those of you who don't know, the joke is that these are about £2 on eBay, £1 if you get it from AliExpress.
What are these?
That's a transistor tester.
Oh yes, because it says NPN and PNP.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so again, I don't know how much I trust anything that this thing does, but I tell you what these things are good for is they don't have any auto off on them. So if you want to monitor a battery, for example, and just see if the voltage is sagging, what these things are actually really good for is just to, look at the resolution of it. It's terrible. What these things are actually really good for, and the reason why I own this, is you can plug a couple of crocodile clips probes into this, plug it into your battery, and just leave it turned on. So you can just keep half an eye on it and just see if the battery is sagging or not. Which is really handy if you've been recovering a battery that's been over discharged. You charge it up a bit and then you just monitor it just to see if the voltage keeps dropping off. So yeah, there's reasons why you might find one of those useful.
So I need to put a picture in Discord of the 5 kilogram multimeter desk apparatus from East Germany that you own. Oh,
you absolutely need to do that. I want to see it.
Yep. Also. What? Smash.
I was half expecting that to bounce off onto the floor and smash into a million pieces then, and what have we gone? Yeah. And now it's gone, but yeah. Right, is this thing going to be stable? Oh, that's looking happier now.
As stable as my mental health. Wait, what?
Yes, there we go. The screen is not flickering madly anymore. I mean, it is, but that's its normal flicker. Right. So yeah, this is a pocket scope. This is not a real oscilloscope. However, these things, you can buy pocket scopes like this for like £20 less if you buy them in kit form, like I did. And this is actually just a good way of just starting to look at waveforms. You can't use this for any meaningful analysis because it doesn't have enough bandwidth. It's got like 5 megahertz of bandwidth, whereas a real scope has like 100 megahertz of bandwidth, at least. But you can use this for just looking at like PWM signals from fans and stuff like that. So
it looks retro because the casing is
yeah, I guess
off-white and just
tarnished. Right, if I go right down into the noise and millivolts, and let's see.
Do a thing.
Yeah, we're down there. Hang on a sec. Where am I going to see the noise? I mean, you can see there's some low-level noise there already. Is this switch in the right position? I think I should be on AC, yeah. Yeah, I think that's correct. The switch at the top of this thing is dicky. Normally you can get some very distinctive hum on this, but what I'll do, let's just quickly put this near some power. If I put this near this plugs. It's not going to... I can't remember how you set it up for this. I haven't done this for a while. I did have this nailed down at one point. I was just like, there we go. That's how you do it. And now I literally can't remember how to do it. Right.
Wave it around a bit.
That is probably the noise coming from the LiPo step-up power supply, to be honest. Someone remind me how to pick up the mains hum, because I'm sure I've got that right. We're on AC coupled and we're just reading for low voltages, and I was expecting that to come up with the 50 Hertz hum, and I literally can't remember how to do it now. Because at the moment, this switching that we're seeing here, this is probably the internal switching from the step-up transformer that's built into this thing for its battery supply. That's most likely what we're seeing here. But yeah. However, also, I don't trust this thing at all. It's not showing me what I'm expecting to see. So, unless I'm going way too fast, let's come right out a sec. No, that's not it either. We're seeing the same thing here. I'm going to need a lower timed divider. Yeah, there's half a second. I don't trust it. To be honest, I don't trust this thing very much. Right, let's put it near... No, we're not seeing anything at all. No, hang on a sec. Let me just do the actual test. Let me hit the test input. I think I need to be DC coupled for the test. Or do I need to be ground coupled for the test? Oh, well, here's a problem because I'm not actually seeing its own built-in test sign at the moment. What the hell is that? That is not what the test signal is supposed to look like.
Okay then.
I think this thing is broken, if I'm honest, because that is absolutely not what its test signal should look like. The test signal should just be a square wave. It is there. Hang on a minute. We're on. Let's go to DC coupled. Unless it is supposed to be on AC coupled for its square. There it is. There we go. There's the test signal. There we go. It does work. Good grief. I told you I wasn't very good at this. I'm just doing a very poor job of demonstrations. Right, okay, let's try dropping down to the low resolutions again. There we go. We're not seeing the noise now. However, also, I think we need to be AC coupled to see anything anyway. So let's switch back to AC. No, I've got no faith in this. I'm giving up on this. It's not playing the game for me. No. This demonstration is failing miserably and I'm going to give up. So yes. No, that's going back to the weird background noise it's seeing. Ignore me. Let's move on. Let's move on. Yeah. Right. Hang on a minute. Had you already seen it?
No, I haven't seen what it said, but I did intentionally leave it up there.
Yes. Well then. Right, all right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so well, multimeter repair. I don't know if we fixed that or whether it came good on its own, but let's move on.
Either way, the issue has been resolved.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, right. Let's move on. So, other things that we were going to do today. I have got like 2 or 3 boxes of.
Oh.
What?
Ah.
Well, while you go.
There we go.
What are we?
James has answered the question about the Fluke multimeter and possible interest in years.
Including the. What was that? 75. Yeah.
Yes.
Fluke begins 1983. That might have been it. Yeah. So it's definitely 83 or newer because that's when the 70 series started. So it's probably mid 80s.
Yeah.
Although, well, that's the problem because they would have sold the same thing for decades. It's hard to tell.
Yes.
Although that much being and like the chip in there was date marked with what looked like 83.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you don't know how long that. We don't know that they might use new old stock of chips as well. So yeah, has it got a serial number on the back of it? Because at some point a serial number might look it up. But yeah, oh well.
27.
All right. Okay, so it looked cool for someone who has no idea what you're doing. Yeah. Well, that was not the demonstration I was hoping for, and I'm kind of annoyed because I have done it before when I've been tinkering with it when I've just been fiddling in the shop. Basically, most multimeters, if you put the ground onto the probe tip so it becomes a loop antenna, and you set it to AC coupled and just look for very low level signals, you will see a vague sine wave for either 50 hertz or 60 hertz, depending on what country you're in, that is just the hum of the main lines. Yeah. And at that point, what we would have seen is just background noise.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, on if you've got a more advanced scope, you can do a basic frequency scanning, and you can start seeing the frequency spikes for radio stations and stuff like that. And that is just a very interesting thing that just shows you what you can use an oscilloscope to find and see. However, this was a very poor demonstration because I could not find what I was looking for, because I haven't done it for ages and I don't know a huge amount about oscilloscopes. Yeah. So all I've done is basically just made myself look extremely ignorant. But yeah, so as I was going to say, moving on. I've got a couple of boxes of some other stuff.
I was going to say, to loop back to the Fluke.
Yeah.
The range on this then is about 7 years. Is no greater than 7 years.
Righto, because it was replaced with another model.
No, because my granddad retired before 1990.
Ah, okay, yeah, so we know it's not from the 90s then. Yeah. So it's probably, just mid-80s then.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's still pretty impressive, because at mid-80s, that means it's potentially 40 years... Well, yeah, that means it's potentially coming up to 40 years old.
Yeah.
Which is quite impressive. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Very nice. Again, I've got to dig mine out and just find out whether it's actually an interesting one or not. I don't think it is, but don't know. I just think it's cool, just because when my granddad passed away, we all pillaged his house. Cleared out his house. Up in the attic, he had an electronics lab would be a strong word, but he did do a lot of tinkering and this spool of solder that I use, that's from my granddad's attic, which is why it's ancient and all of the flux in it is all bulged out and gone lumpy. Because this stuff is probably the best part of 30 or 40 years old as well. And yeah, it's just kind of neat. And that was my first soldering iron. Well, yeah, more or less my first soldering iron was also my granddad's old one. So I think a lot of us probably start out on kit that has just come down through the family at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. This will have been used in the in-flight refueling system used by the RAF.
Oh, that's cool.
Because my granddad was a part of the team that came up with the drogue system.
What's the drogue system?
The bit that flaps around and they stick the nozzle in.
Oh, I see. The in-flight refueling. Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my granddad was RAE, the Royal Aircraft Engineers. So again, that would have been he probably would have been in, well, not the same places, but certainly he would have been familiar with similar systems.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Nice. Right. Okay. Super quick catching up on chat. So yes, Katrina, you need to get out your big multimeter and show pictures because that sounds super cool. They are kind of neat. It's one of the reasons why I like watching a lot of stuff on EEV blog, because he does do a lot of old test gear testing as well sometimes. Although I should also watch some of the other ones as well, like Mr. Carlson's lab and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, right. So I've got some boxes of stuff that people have sent in, and I thought we'd go through that and actually see what's there, because people have sent stuff in, and I've kind of just sort of left it in the box and been like, oh, I'll have a look at that at some point. And like, yeah, let's have a look at it.
This is a perfect opportunity.
This is a point that we can have a look at it. Yeah.
Yes.
Other stuff as well. Firephone says, is affiliate program a scam? Whose affiliate program?
Because mine definitely isn't.
Well, that's the thing. It depends on whose affiliate program and what they're selling. An affiliate program just basically means that the person who is providing the link is getting a kickback every time a sale gets put through. So, like, for example, when I provide Amazon links to people, those are affiliate links, and I get a commission for any sale that happens as a result of someone clicking through that link. So this is the thing, is I have a financial incentive to encourage people to buy stuff through that link. And so the question basically is, well, is it a good product? If it's a good product and it's a genuine recommendation, then it's not a scam. However, if someone is shilling crap stuff because they're getting kickbacks from it, then that's kind of scammy, you know. So yeah, it depends on what it is, really. You can't find pics. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. How long am I still up? Well, we've been going for an hour. We'll probably be going for at least another hour or so. So yeah, we usually run for at least 2 hours. No super rush on it. In your own time, though.
Where are these boxes?
They are over here.
Ah, very well. Yes, that is a box.
Yes, I'm just having a look and going, right, what's in this one?
Very well.
Oh, that's a laptop. That's just a laptop that's just in a very deep box. Okay. That is not what I thought it was.
This is a laptop. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Graham.
Okay, yeah, right. We've got some old gear in here. I think we started having a look through this box at another point. So I want to finish looking through that box and determine what's in there, because I'm going through a lot of tidying up at the moment. So I'm trying to open up these boxes and go, what is in here? You know,
what are they?
What are you?
And I'm so sorry. Oh, good. I did actually manage to get the camera to roughly the right height to enable us to stand. Also
fabulous. This box, which has various cooling stuff in.
I'm going to start with that one.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a can of cider, because that's the kind of person I am. Do you want one as well?
I will also partake.
Okay.
What's in here? It is an Intel backplate with screws and springs. Good. It is a thing.
Right.
There is also a letter.
There is a letter.
Which I will allow you to speed read.
Right, so this stuff came in a long while back, and it was just to send in as just you can have this stuff. So yes. So there's a B450 motherboard that cuts out whilst gaming. Don't know why. Just replaced the motherboard, never looked into why it cuts out. There's an Intel motherboard and a CPU that worked fine the last time it was used. There's an all-in-one water cooler that works, but it has cut wires.
Interesting.
So, yeah. What is that? What? Is that a motherboard?
It is a motherboard.
Is that a micro? That's a very small micro, isn't it? It's not a nano, is it? Or is it one of those weird, like, size of a nano but long jobs? So that's that. Let's put that back. I'll leave this in the box actually, just so we know that doesn't, because that's got some personal information on it. So mounting hardware. Right, I'm going to have a look through. Oh, Artesian Builds had an affiliate program. Yeah, well, so Artesian Builds. So this is an interesting. So there's affiliate program. There's also partnership. So things of note. Let's look at the Artesian Builds thing. Very quick overview for those of you who haven't heard.
Oh no!
There were a system. Oh wow, that's been in the wars, hasn't it? I mean, it'll still work. What CPU is it?
i5-4690.
That's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, you could build up a nice office box with that. So yeah, Artesian Builds, they were a system integrator building boutique PCs. They basically fell from a great height and hit every branch on the way down over the past 2 weeks because they screwed over one of their partners. So what a lot of companies do.
They didn't hit every branch on the way down because they screwed one of their partners. They hit every branch on the way down because they didn't know how to handle the fact that they screwed one of the partners. Yeah. They didn't know how to recover.
Yeah. So yes, at any rate, what they were running, so there is also what is known as a partnership program. And the problem is the terminology is not official and it depends on there are a lot of interchangeable terms, but what a company like Artesian was running is what's generally known as an ambassador or partner program, where you will provide links to, say, an Artesian PC and say, I'm affiliated with Artesian. If you buy through my link, I get a commission, kind of thing. And if, however, the reality is that the person who is shilling the product only gets a very token gesture thing, if anything at all, if they manage to sell something. So a lot of the time, what these companies are doing is they have an army of small streamers shilling their products while not actually getting paid or even getting a meaningful commission out of it. And it's not a scam to the buyer. If anything, I think it's more a scam to the streamer, because there are a lot of streamers who have just got all of these, affiliations and partners with various companies, and they're not actually getting anything for any of them. What they're doing is they've been told that if enough people buy through their links, they will then get a product. They'll get a free sample, or they'll get a discount, or something like that. And I'm like, no, I won't shill for you unless you've given me something. That's the deal here. I'm going to stop talking for a sec while we just rip all the packaging off, because this is unbearable.
There we go. Now I can just mic
it. What brand is... Oh, it's an Enemax, yeah.
Enemax? No, Game Max.
Game Max? Oh, yeah.
Game Max.
That's a really early Game Max, yeah. Oh yeah, I think I just saw Max and thought it was Enemax. I'll just get a slightly less sharp knife. I get very uncomfortable using the scalpel for opening packaging. That's actually quite nice. That's kind of neat, that. Let's just quickly get a picture of that. So,
which board was it that you did the videos on about the BIOS screwing you? Was it the B450 Aorus Pro?
No, it's B450 Aorus M.
Oh, okay.
However, all of the Gigabyte B450 boards were regarded as a bit crap. But I believe... What am I looking for? I'm looking for Benchcam. There we go.
What am I doing?
I was fumbling for the controls, but I couldn't remember why. So here's this AIO cooler. It's actually quite an interesting looking one.
Excuse me.
That's fairly neat.
Crinkling. Ah!
All right. That's actually quite a nice board. Ah. This is a very painful podcast.
Yes.
My stress levels are very high right now, because I'm just like, we looked at the multimeter, and then I did about 15 minutes of just dead air of me fumbling with my pocket scope and going, this isn't working, and now we're just making a lot of packaging noises.
You need to lower your expectations.
We had a conversation about this the other day after one of the streams where I was just like, oh, I'm exhausted. And Caradog was just like, I think you find this a lot harder work than I do. And I'm just like, I don't know, I think I'm just more worried. I'm always stressed out on the podcast because I'm just
You also have standards.
Yeah, because I'm just like, we've got to keep it entertaining. We've got to keep it good.
I don't think at any point we ever inferred good.
No, that's true. Like
there is no warranty inferred or implied.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's actually some quite nice stuff in here. Let's find out if any of this is any good. So that is going to go with that, isn't it? So that's an Intel mount.
Yeah, that's an Intel mount, which will go on there.
Yeah, so we could test both of these. We could just spool both of these up and just be like, does this work? So this has got... I
thought this said Wi-Fi in the name.
Might not be... That might be a box for a different board.
Oh no, they just use the same manual for two different motherboards.
Yeah. We've got a broken locking connector on that guy. That's actually snapped, so that's no bueno. I'll just take that out.
I mean, that's what I normally do to them.
Yeah. That's a choice.
And then annoy people by captain taping them on top of my hard drives.
Yes, and by annoying people, you mean me.
Yes.
Oh, that's not going to come out for me now.
There is a reasonable amount of...
I think I need a pair of pliers to get that out.
There's a reasonable amount of...
Whatever.
Thermal paste splooge.
Oh yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, oh, it can be cleaned up.
So yeah,
yeah, we'll spin that up.
Just if we start looking at stuff and then going, what happened here?
Yeah. Have we got a CPU we can put in that?
Do you not have the 3700 somewhere?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. I might have sold the 3700.
Oh.
Well,
that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, I have got our test CPU. What are you? Oh, that's an FX.
That definitely won't work.
Yep, that's absolutely no good.
Also, your A8 won't work.
Yeah, that's the problem. I know I've got the A8 somewhere, but where are all of my test CPUs? I hadn't.
After all of your tidying up.
Yeah, I hadn't really prepared for this, if I'm honest.
Preparation, anyway. Also, where's your alcohol?
Oh, that's another FX. Why do I have AMD FX CPUs lying around everywhere?
Because you literally can't give them away.
Yes, this is true. All right. What's in? Oh, that's an Intel rig now, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we.
I'm going to quickly have a quick look at these motherboards.
Okay, yeah, there might be one in there somewhere.
So what's that? That is...
Yeah. A lot of it is Intel stuff. Okay, I'm going to catch...
That is an H110. That is another CPU.
I will catch up on the chat while we're going through this.
There's an
okay.
Athlon 200GE, which we'll have to double check if it will even be supported.
Oh, that's one of the test CPUs, yes.
That's...
Yeah, well, that allows us to actually just spin up the board and see if it works. It's not going to work as a game test, though, because it's literally not fast enough to game. So, yeah. Right, I'm going to catch up on the chat. Leon George asks, what's my opinion on GameMax and Colink PSUs? They're not high-quality power supplies. However, they'll do the job. But you're going to have to overspec and also just set your expectations. Like, don't run top-end graphics cards on budget power supplies.
I'll have you know.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, we've done a lot of testing with the GameMax 850, with your GameMax 850, and I've also done a reasonable amount of testing with the GameMax 1000 watt that's in the Lianli, and we haven't had problems with those.
Yeah, I mean, I realise it's a kilowatt power supply.
That's just it.
It's been running two 3060 Ti's maxed out for how long? Have the 3060 Ti's been out?
Oh, is it a GameMax in your dual 3060 box?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had the stupid 2 kilowatt thing in there.
No, I don't actually know where that power supply is.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I do.
I don't know how you lost it because it's about that long. But,
no, I do.
Yeah.
It's in the work PC.
Okay.
It's in one of the work PCs, powering a 2600G.
Yeah. I'm sure that's hitting its peak efficiency curve. So yeah. Okay, right. Skimming down. Color caps. More side effects to these problems. It sure does. Spend more, get more. B550 Master is great. This is true. This is a B450, so it's an older Gen 1, but this could still run lots of stuff. Did B450 get Ryzen 5000 support? No, yeah.
So none of them were particularly good.
No. I mean, they would have been capable of running a lot of the 5000s, but yeah. You could stick a 3000 series in here. And,
AMD boards didn't actually get good until X570 and
realistically.
B550.
Yeah. Oh, Katrina is posting pictures of test gear. I'm going to have a quick look-see here. Oh, that's very cool.
Based on the fact that has a CPU in it, I'm going to start there.
Yeah. That's very cool, Katrina. I like it. Big fan. You've got the same problem with the FM2 CPUs. They're everywhere. Yeah, I don't have any of them lying around, but I do still see them pop into the shop with far too great a frequency.
Wires? Oh, the RGB?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's just the RGB pass-through. Oh, that's all right. Right, I'm going to adjust the camera, and what we'll do, we'll test all this stuff, and we'll just see if it works, basically. We've no reason to believe it doesn't work, but it has gone through the post and then sat in a box for ages. So, yeah, we'll just spin this stuff up and see if yeah, that's it.
If this works, it'll be the only CPU AIO that you have that works.
I think that's a bit harsh.
Is it, though?
Yes, that is a bit harsh. I have several that are working. Some of them require a bit of grief to make work. We do need to
test all of them.
Well, yeah, we do need to test all of them because the problem is, like the NZXT Krakens. We started looking at those. Was it last week? Yeah. Last week we started looking at that after the stream,
and then we lost our minds.
Yeah. But then we both literally went insane for a few moments where a 4770K that was supposed to be a 4790K became a 4770K, and then it turned back into a 4790K, and it was a bad time. So yeah, do the refills still work? We haven't properly tested them because we were going to test them last week. But then we went insane trying to figure out why a CPU wasn't working properly. And because we didn't trust the CPU, we were getting abnormally high temperatures and we didn't know if we had a bad mount. And then it turned out that there were bent pins in the socket, which meant the CPU wasn't flat, which is probably why the cooler wasn't working properly.
And then the CPU was the wrong CPU, even though the CPU was the CPU. And then... Yes.
So suffice to say, we have not tested the NZXTs properly.
They will eventually get tested.
But... I want to test them because I want to know if I can use them. That's the thing, because they're nice all-in-one water coolers if they work, and we've no reason to believe they don't work at the moment. We just haven't tested it. What are you looking for? Thermal paste. Yep. So yes.
Did it? Oh, I'm splooging everywhere.
Buchan Peter says, my B450 runs a 5600X. It probably depends on what you've got then. Have you got an ASRock or something like that? Because didn't ASRock roll back 5000 support to like the X470 and... Oh no, the X370 and B450s or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably depends. Gigabyte keeps releasing beta BIOS updates rather than full ones. Yeah, I think Gigabyte tend to play that game of we'll just slap beta on it and then we don't have to test it properly. And I have mixed opinions about that. To a certain extent, I'd rather people just release something and just say, look, we haven't done extreme amounts of testing on this. Use it at your own risk. But yeah. That isn't actually a screw fit, by the way. It just seems to help it go in.
I was just intrigued why there was a screw on there.
It's for attaching needles.
Yeah.
So yeah. However, quite why you'd...
So you can be a thermal paste junkie.
Well, yeah, quite why you'd want to put a syringe needle on your thermal paste is beyond me.
Because you think it's liquid metal.
Yeah. There's probably some nerds out there that are just like, because they've got to get their thermal paste patterns correct. Still, shout out to Paul Daniels for being an absolute mad lad a couple of weeks ago when he literally just got the thermal paste and just went in a spiral. And I was just like, yes, man, yes. It was a beautiful moment, and everyone was very angry about it. Okay, right. I keep saying I'm going to backread chat, and then I don't backread chat. Cool. It's a ASUS ROG Strix B450. Okay, yeah. First update ran the CPU too hot. That's interesting. Yeah. Gigabyte B450 will support Ryzen 5000. Yeah, fair enough. So we could pull one of the Ryzen 5000s out of one of the other computers to test that board. While you rig this up, I'm going to carry on mooching about just to see if I can find that 3700. I've got a feeling I sold it, but I can't remember what I would have sold it in. Because I know I was trying to sell all my old stuff. What would I put it in? I tell you what I will check.
What did you...
that ITX motherboard that had gone walkabout has showed up again. The A520M.
Is there a CPU in there?
There is not.
Oh, okay.
So
because that's where the 3700X was.
Yeah.
Last time I saw it. But also the last time I saw it was whenever the... not Dutch. No. Where the hell is Spa-Francorchamps? Wherever the hell that is. That Grand Prix. It was very much rained off.
Oh, right, yeah. That's when you were testing with it, yeah. That was a while back now, yeah.
Yes. Well, given the new season starts in 9 days.
Yes. Looking.
Belgium, thank you, Matthew, for helping me out with my insulting of many people. There you go. That'll do.
I keep looking into boxes of stuff and seeing something that I couldn't find and going, oh, that's where that is. But when I actually need it again, I'll forget.
What you see, now that you have shelving units...
Yes.
Also, you own a label maker.
I do.
You even have tape for it.
I do. I'm going to actually...
Do you know what you could do?
I could make some labels, is what I could do. That is a plan that I'm going to implement. Right, one last look at it here. I'm picking up on this.
What?
We can't have a podcast which is just Graham spends an hour looking around the shop for a CPU that he sold 3 months ago.
That Graham is unsure of whether he actually sold or not. Oh, what? Eh?
Ooh.
Ah.
I found the AA, so we've got that going for us.
Good. Isn't that kind of the wrong generation?
Yeah. Right, so we've got the... No, that's the FX that's shown up. Oh god, I would literally throw that FX in the bin right now were it not for the fact that I've got several AM3 boards that I want to do terrible things to.
Oh dear. Right. You can go on there.
No, I'm going with sold. I must have sold it.
Cool. Where's the power supply?
Heck knows who I sold it to, but... Yeah, however, I must have sold it because the past 6 months, I kind of spent a year accumulating stuff in this shop And over the past 6 months, I've been trying to put all of that stuff into computers and be like, just build something with this and sell it, get rid of it, instead of just slowly collecting things. So yeah, there was a 3800X that went into John's PC. I don't think there ever was a 3700. I think it was a 3800 because it was my old CPU, and we stuck that in John's PC. That's what I'm going with. I think that's what happened to it. Oh yes, we need memory. What is this? This is going to be DDR4, isn't it? No, it's 4th gen. It's DDR3.
I was literally just going to go...
Yep, I was going to say, we've got some DDR3 down here, as luck would have it.
Huh.
Excellent.
I was just, getting there. Whoops.
Now you got... There is... The and a SATA cable.
Yeah, there you go.
Bam! Right.
I pinched a nice braided one from somewhere that I was going to keep with this SSD.
Yeah, there's usually a braided one floating around somewhere because I usually hung on to those and be like, ooh, that's a nice braided one. I'll use that in one of my computers. But then I remember, I'm like, no, I don't want anything that's SATA in my PC. Although I do still have a SATA drive in my PC at the moment, but that's just because at one point, crucial 2 terabyte SSDs were cheap. Mini water cooling is just nonsense. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend one of these if I'm honest. They're not worth the hassle.
I think we're done.
Yeah, they are functional, but they're not good enough to actually be worth. You may as well just use an air cooler. So, right, yep, you're grabbing the HDMIs, the HDMIs. I shall stick on the widget because that'll fit this.
Insert your widget.
There we go. Right, and let's go. What is this going to be plugged into?
I don't know.
Maybe you should. Right, that's going straight into the monitor at the moment. Let's get some capture for that. Ugh. Is this plugged in? It is. HDMI in.
Where is the other keyboard and trackpad?
Over here. Keyboard and trackpad.
Okay.
All right, we are all set. We're not all set.
Why not?
That needs to change to that one. There we go. Device. Ow. The EVGA was there and then it wasn't.
Is that because it's not plugged in?
It is plugged in.
Okay.
I'm going to replug it though. There we go. It made the noise.
It did the thing.
Right, properties. There we go. That's given a black screen now. Right, let's activate that. That'll do. Was that GameX logo there before, or is that just illuminated?
It has now illuminated.
Yeah. Aha, it posts. There we go. Right, let's make it do stuff. Let's switch to Camlink, and let's have
New CPU installed.
that
for setup.
And what happens if I turn you on?
Excellent.
Let's put that up there so you guys can see everything. There we go. Is that enough for you to work with?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm just checking. I'm like, is there anything I can do to make your life slightly easier?
We have UEFI. I can just turn.
I've
not made any changes.
That actually looks fairly modern for a 4th gen. Although I'm always surprised when 4th gen motherboards have modern looking BIOSes, but that's just simply because last week we discovered that the Gigabyte in this one actually just has a really shit BIOS.
And is just in a weird state of weirdness.
Yeah.
No idea what that board's doing.
Yeah, like the computer that we run this streams from is it's got a Gigabyte. What is it again? Z97X Gaming 5, which is actually a fairly nice looking motherboard, but it has just a really trash BIOS that just never had got any updates, and it's really odd. We tried to update the BIOS on it last week, Marcus, because I was just like, oh man, let's find a BIOS update for this. How have I not updated this thing?
And it was on the latest BIOS.
And it was on the latest BIOS, yeah. And we were just like, what the hell? How has there never been a BIOS update for this? And yeah, it looks like Gigabyte just gave up on it, and we're just like, oh, it works. So yeah.
Ta-da! It managed to boot Windows.
Nice. Let's I guess we'll hit it with a CPU load. I mean, well, so far as we know, this board works. So we'll give this a quick zap with I don't know, yeah, Cinebench or something. We'll make it do the pretty pictures for people so they can go, oh. And then we'll move on to the other board, I guess. Is it worth pulling the 5800X out of one of the other PCs for this?
More specifically?
Yeah. Alright, we'll try.
Huh.
Huh. Gigabyte is absolutely horrible when it comes to firmware. Yeah, I don't know. Some of their boards are good, but they always seem to have like they've always got one or two boards out at any given time that are actually good, but they also churn out a lot of boards that they just don't really care about. It's very frustrating with Gigabyte. Gigabyte are capable of making really amazing products. However, there are certain times where they just don't care, and it's very frustrating, because it means that, you know, their genuinely good products often get eclipsed with the bad rep that their bad products generate. You know, like with the power supply issue. You know, after the faff with the exploding Gigabyte power supplies, everyone was just like, "Oh, Gigabyte make trash." It's just like, well, no, the X570 Aorus Master is one of the best X570 motherboards money can buy. You know, it's an amazingly good motherboard. But it now gets eclipsed by Gigabyte also making trash. It's really frustrating. Is the sound clipping a bit? It shouldn't be. Let me just double check.
I mean, it might be.
Mic check 1 2. No, we're in the yellow at the moment. However, the mic is next to stuff, so the audio should absolutely not be clipping at the moment. Oh, apparently more than one people are confirming that. Oh. Right. I mean, we have got a noisy fan here. Can this fan calm down a bit? Have a look. Have we got any rogue audio coming in from somewhere else? It's popping. Okay, hold up a sec, everyone.
Oh, excuse me.
Suppression. Right, how's that? I'll put the... I've just switched us over to the super aggressive noise filtering for a sec. Because it might... we're on super aggressive noise filtering now. Has that cleared it up? Yeah. It might be overhearing stuff from here and that kind of thing. We do also have that there. All right, enjoy Spectrum. Hello, by the way. Right. Okay, I've just moved some cables. I'm going to pull it back and let's see what it does there. Filters. Seems okay now. Okay, right. I'm going to switch back. There we go. I've just stepped back to the less aggressive noise filtering, because the super aggressive one cuts a lot of stuff out and it lowers the quality. Right. Feels like a sound processing issue. Yeah, that seemed to happen just as we started doing stuff. The annoying thing is I can't see it doing it on the VU meter. There's a little bit of noise there. It's a bit of an audio glitch rather than clipping. Maybe I'm trying to do too much at the moment. Have we got a problem with the PC? Yeah, we're not working that hard. Pass. I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure what that is. However, I'll switch off one of the cameras just so it's doing less work. Yeah, who knows? Not a problem. Okay.
There we go.
All right. What was the temperature like?
Can you even read that number?
It is 3212.
There you go. There you go. The hardest.
Core temp's got to 37. Well, it's only an i5, isn't it? Yeah, that's like a 60 watt TDP. And before anyone in the comments is just like, TDP isn't representative of how much heat it produces. Yeah, but it's a guideline.
Maximum package power is 48.516 watts, apparently.
Yeah, there we go then. If you've got a CPU that has a TDP of 200 watts, then you can expect it to kick out a lot of heat. If you have a CPU that has a TDP of 50 watts, then you don't expect it to produce a lot of heat. So yeah. Audio is still popping constantly. Okay, well, we're going to shut this down and switch out in a minute, so we'll see if it goes away in a minute when we turn all this off.
Seems to be absolutely
fine. I'm not sure where that's coming from. It could be any of the equipment that's in front of the microphone.
There you go.
Right, having switched all of that off, has the popping now stopped? It started after we plugged in the capture card. Yeah. It's not Strongbow, it's Stoford Press. How very dare you? I'm very offended by that. Still popping.
There is definitely more temperature in those VRM components than I'd have expected from that.
Yeah, well, they've got no cooling on them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're running passive.
Yeah, just given that it was like a maximum of 48 watts.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Right. That is actually a fractional concern.
Yeah. Where is stuff going in? Right, that goes to there. That goes to there. That comes up to there. Should be okay, right. Unplug the capture card. I'm trying to change one thing at a time so we can figure out what's causing that popping. I've unplugged the capture card. Let's just see if that just immediately clears up. Okay. You got a D15 for your Ryzen 2600. Yeah, the D15 is ace. Caradog and I were playing. This one's a D15, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Caradog and I stuck his old D15 on the Sabertooth Z97 last week, and this thing is like, this is the first time I've really looked at a D15 properly, and it is an amazing cooler. Like, you mount this up and it is keeping this thing super cool, and the fan is just idling. It's just doing 300 RPM. It's fantastic. I mean, it is massive and heavy and stuff, and like, I'm holding this motherboard by the cooler, which is crazy, but it's still very cool.
It's just the fact that it's no drama.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? Can I get back over here? I'm going to switch cameras again. Okay. Right. Audio is good now. We've unplugged the capture card. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. That was the EVGA XR1 that we had plugged in, but still doing testing with that. So
don't forget though that your computer complained several times last week just about USB device allocation.
Yeah, I think I've got just too much connected up to this guy.
You do need to make use of the monitor hubs and stuff.
I have. I've got everything plugged into the monitor hubs now.
That should, in theory, effectively sort that. Because
yeah.
You should be able to.
That's it.
Split stuff off. Where is your there?
Yeah. Honestly, I might have to bite the bullet and just upgrade the YouTube thing. Because the reason why I haven't upgraded this computer is just because it doesn't need it.
Yeah. Or just get a USB card that has its own controller, and then obviously you can stick 4 devices into that.
Yeah.
And in theory, you could hub those 4 ports.
I really dislike USB 3 PCI cards. I've had nothing but problems with them in the past, so I'm not a big fan of them at all. I could certainly try it, but part of me is kind of more tempted to upgrade this thing just enough, just so it's got like a Type-C port on it, so I could just plug in a Type-C hub and just have all the bandwidth ever.
I guess.
Threadripper required. Nah. Well, I do all the encoding in NVENC. All the encoding is done on a GTX 1060. So even though we've only got a 4th gen i7 in this computer, it's barely running at 30 or 40% doing all of this at the moment. You know, the stream with 3 capture sources and all the rest of it, you know, is barely breaking a sweat because the graphics card is doing everything. So you don't actually need a lot of horsepower for a streaming for a thing like this. If you're running a stream PC that's playing games at the same time, different picture entirely. You want a lot of horsepower on that. But yeah.
You also don't want Threadripper for that.
No, Threadripper isn't the right tool for the job there either. Elgato HD60 Pro PCIe. I've not tried the Elgato PCIe cards. However, I would believe that they are very good. I've got AVerMedia cards, but I'm having a bit of a falling out with AVerMedia at the moment, just simply because they get really pissy if HDCP isn't bang on the mark. Like, my AVerMedia capture cards won't capture anything from an AMD graphics card, which is really frustrating. So at the moment, I'm testing an EVGA XR1 USB-C capture card. And that seems to be very good for computer testing. It's got very fast response times. But I haven't done a huge amount of testing with it yet. But also, that's the very card that was apparently just causing the microphone to pop. So I doubt it's the card, though. I think, like Caradog said, it's probably to do with this computer getting upset about having too many USB devices connected to it.
Where is your IPA?
There. So yeah, the HD60 doesn't do HDCP either. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, yeah. I need to see how the Camlink, because we've got an Elgato Camlink 4K here as well, and this is the guy that we've been using for the main Canon camera that you guys are watching for most of the streams. Right now, this camera is being captured on an AVerMedia Live Gamer 2 PCI Express. And I'm using that because it's one fewer USB devices. I wanted to stop using the Camlink just so I could unplug another USB device.
There you go. That's mostly clean.
This Camlink has been very good, but it doesn't like switching resolutions off them.
It's good for cameras and stuff.
That's right. It's designed for cameras. It's not very good at doing PC capture when you're going into the BIOS and stuff like that. But also, that's not what it's designed for. It's designed for cameras, hence the name Camlink. So, yeah. Again, it's just we were having a conversation where there's just not a lot of development in capture cards like this at the moment. It's very strange. So, yeah. Avid had custom software to remove HDCP. Interesting. I've not looked at any Avid capture stuff. If you want reliable HDCP removal, the Chinese capture cards will do that. But also, these guys have got horrible compression on them. So that's, you know, if you don't care about the quality of the picture, the cheap AliExpress $10 capture cards will do you right. Sorry, I just threw that at the mic.
Good job.
However, so yeah, as I say, if you're doing a lot of messing around with streaming, it's really worth having one of these on tap because, like, every time we've had trouble doing capture, I've plugged this in and it's saved the day. However, it's also compressed into the Stone Age, and it's limited to 30 FPS, so it's not a good capture card, but it will capture anything you throw into it, you know. So, yeah. You tend to need a HDMI splitter to take out the HDCP. I'm thinking of buying one. I want to see if I can find a really small HDMI splitter that I can sort of butcher into just an inline box that is just a HDCP remover without having a horrible mess of cabling going everywhere. Because a lot of people have said sort of, oh, if you use a capture box, a splitter, that will remove HDCP. And I'm like, that's great, but I don't want another box that then has another 2 HDMI cables going through it and a power cable as well. Because I really hate it when you...
Are they powered?
Probably.
I haven't seen any powered ones.
No? Oh, okay. I was going to say there's not a doubt in my mind that there's passive ones out there, but I would imagine a lot of them are USB powered. But yeah, if there's a nice little tiny mini splitter that is passive and just runs off the cable, then that would be great. If you drop stuff a lot, the cheap ones are great. Yes, true. Only 30 FPS. Well, I mean, this $10 one, this did not do 60 FPS. I think it claimed to do 60 FPS, but when I was looking at the video that it was sending to me, I'm like, you say that's 60 FPS. That's not 60 FPS. You know, at the very least, the frame stutter was so horrendous that it was not worth doing. So yeah, you bought a small 4K 30 one from Amazon, USB micro powered. Yeah, it's doable.
I mean, all the ones I've seen have just been things that look like that.
Oh, that's neat. Wow, £3.60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that in the UK? Oh, it is a UK supply.
Supposedly. I've no idea.
Yeah, well, what's the delivery time? 17th of March and 19th of March.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's
6
UK.
days. Yeah.
Wow, £3. I'm just going to buy that.
Or similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of different styles of them. Because there's these.
Oh, triple one and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I want something that is small. I like that one because it's an inline cable. It's not a box.
Yeah.
Because that literally I can just put that in line.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I was talking about. I want something that is neat and in line. What I don't want is another metal box with more cables and connectors and plugs. Mm. So yeah, that's actually a really nice solution.
This can go in your pile of working ones.
Nice. Yeah, that'll do. And that's in really great condition as well. Like you could put this in a budget gaming build.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Oh yeah.
We'll need to just
little nick on that.
Do something about that little nick.
I heat shrink that. She'll be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Okay. I'll put that over there as working. And what happened to the motherboard and CPU? No, as in the Intel one, the one that we were testing.
It's over there.
Okay, that's on the pile.
It's on the pile of motherboards.
Very
the motherboard is on the pile of motherboards. Where the motherboards go.
I said, right. Before we do the next one, I'm just going to test another one. I'm quite excited about this one actually.
Okay.
So this one was sent in by another viewer who said he was sending it in, and then came through. It's exactly what it says on the box, in case you're wondering. Oh, Caradog has just got a black square for a head. Let me deal with that. There we go. Caradog is being censored.
I am removing these items.
This was another donation to the shop. So this is a Maximus 9 formula, and it's got a 7700K in it. So once again, it was sent in working condition, so no reason to believe I'm standing behind the... Hang on a sec. I'm going to turn this around just so I'm not blocking the mic. So this was sent in working condition, so again, no reason to believe there's any problems with it. Think it needs a BIOS reset, but I just want to spool this up and just check that it works, because if so, I'm going to put... I don't know what my plans for this are, but yeah.
Someone forgot to remove their Noctua.
Yeah, that's the Noctua Secure Firm, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is making me want to reinvigorate the custom water cooling project that I was threatening to do ages ago.
Okay.
Because this would go really nicely with one of those water-cooled 1070s that I've still got.
Yeah.
You know, just as a show PC. Or failing that, I might just hang on to it for... I think also though I might just hang on to it for a friend in need, basically. So if I come across a friend or a customer where they're in a pinch and their motherboard and or CPU is crap and they need something, I can be like, you know what, I've got something for you, and make someone's day with it. You know, I'm not going to sell it because it was donated, so I'm going to save it for a friend in need, basically. I think. But yeah, so let's pull this out and just spin it up and just double check that it works and that it survived. Just make sure that it actually survived postage. Ooh, let's see. How much for the 7700K? Yeah, not for sale, I'm afraid. As I say, because this was a donation, it doesn't feel right to sell it. Like I say, it will get. I'll save it for. Like I say, friend in need. And no, don't DM me saying that you're a friend in need. Are you making note? Are you just going, look at this wonderful I/O, or are you going, look, it has appeal?
No. I'm going, look how many USB ports there are.
Yeah.
Look how you need so many USB ports.
I see where you're going with this now, and now you've pointed that out. I'm just like, of course. We'll put this in the streaming rig.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would actually be perfect for that. You're right.
Yeah.
Because this would give this actually solves the problem entirely, and because it's a decent motherboard that actually has good support and probably has had recent BIOS updates.
Yeah.
This is actually perfect to put in the YouTube rig.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Well, problem solved then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you want to see if there's a BIOS for this?
Yes,
because we can literally just
flashback it.
Yeah,
I think it just needs I think it just needs a BIOS reset because the chap who sent it in said that he'd been doing some overclocking stuff, and so
yeah, absolutely. But just a statement we can literally just
we'll
do that it.
Yeah.
As opposed to needing to hot air it, that's what I meant.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Well,
if that didn't work.
Oh yeah, no, it'll post. It just requires there's a BIOS reset button on here somewhere, I'm sure.
There's clearly
just there. That's all it needs.
It's fine.
And then we'll just update.
I need some DDR4.
Yeah. Some DDR4. How's that?
It's not that stuff. Did you send back the busted DDR3?
I did, yes.
Did you get a full refund?
I did, yes.
Excellent.
They probably threw it in the bin, which is what they should have done, but instead of trying to sell it on eBay. But whatever.
Which ones does it say to use first? It says to use these ones first.
The 7700K is a lovely chip. Was that the one where they started soldering them again? Or has it still got thermal paste in it? Because I know the 6700K is a bit of an animal to cool. Because my partner has a 6700K, and it's a bit of an animal to cool. And I'm not sure if they fixed that with the 7th gen or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
What was the name of 7th gen?
Interesting. There's clearly
LEDs
lights or
there.
something.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
It's a lovely motherboard, this. Yeah. Part of me kind of wants to get if I do rebuild the YouTube rig with this, part of me wants to put it in a new case.
Am I just going to pull the cooler off of that and slap it straight on top of that?
I mean, you could.
I am going to.
Yeah, I can find you another cooler if we have other coolers.
I also can.
But also, that's like 2 screws, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Say hello to SecuFirm.
Yeah. Let's switch back to.
If someone from Noctua is watching and wants to send a.
Yeah. Serious offer. If anyone's from Noctua and is watching, hello. I need to be more assertive and be like, yes, send me stuff. I'm going to do it. I'm reading my emails these days, and I'm actually replying to stuff.
I need to find some Noctua coolers on eBay or something that are missing mounting kits.
Have you got half a dozen of these kicking around or something?
But just a case.
Well, now we have one, so
because the mounting kits are like £4.
Oh right, yeah.
And people are silly.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. So buy the cooler super cheap. Buy the missing part bracket for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, actually remember to undo the screws.
Yeah. Why is the cooler bracket 90-degree turned?
Because that's how it goes, isn't it? Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is correct. Yep, that is correct. However, that would be wrong for AMD. Yeah, because you actually put it on the wrong way around the other day, didn't you? 7th is Cabby Lake.
Yeah, I put it on the wrong way around because I forgot the Nocturne mount is the other way around.
Indeed.
Because I was fitting 2 Arctics just beforehand, which are the other way around.
Let's see. You mean 3900? Yeah, 3900 is still very worth it. I think it was 8th or 9th gen when they started soldering again. Yeah. You couldn't use Noctua without RGB unicorn poo. Yeah, Noctua and RGB don't really fit in the same sentence, I don't think. Yeah. Oh man, if I put this in a... God, I wish this Corsair 400C that this computer is in had tempered glass. It's the one thing that makes me sad about that case. I wonder if you can... I'm sure someone said there was a tempered glass conversion for it at some point, and that gives me pause for thought.
That's already done. That's what
have we got a standard front panel? We do.
I don't need your standard front panel.
Oh, no, you don't. Yeah. I think that power... Oh, it's power cycling.
Yeah, yep. So I also hit clear CMOS.
Okay, yeah.
32, 35, 5C, 22, 4F, 60, 24, 78.
I think the BIOS postcodes are going to stop doing things by the time I get over there. But
62, there you go.
62. This isn't very exciting. Let's switch
99, there we go.
It's going to need a reset now because the HDMI wasn't plugged in.
It should do it when it hits Windows.
Okay, I was going to drop into BIOS first, but yeah, it can do. We'll find out momentarily. You just recased your main rig into a fractal torrent with a solid side panel. Fair enough. Yep.
The correct side panel.
Yeah. I've got to do my heckin' fractal video as well. I'm gonna get to that once we've done the 100,000 subscriber video because like the shop is getting tidied up, and I'm gonna bring my PC in and do a walk around.
Yeah. No, it's literally not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit the reset. Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah. Have we got a keyboard plugged in as well?
Oh no.
Onboard graphics might be disabled, so if it's...
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, so it might not have gotten the clear CMOS. Oh. I unplugged the capture card.
Yes. Oh, I thought you replaced the capture card.
No.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought you swapped it.
That's why there's no capture, because I unplugged the capture card.
Oh, I see. I thought you swapped it.
Right. I'm going to plug the capture card back in. Let me know if we start getting audio popping again, because science. I'll plug it into a different USB port.
Chris S., I'm fairly sure cockroaches will rule the earth before your torrent video. Torrent will be a trigger word for many affected by cyclones caused by global warming by then.
Yeah, the torrent video was another classic example of me taking too long to make a video. The longer you work on it, the harder it gets. Right. Right, that is probably going to need... Let's just reactivate it. Oh, that's still saying Camlin 4K. Right, okay. Right, I think that might need another reset now for it to detect, because it would have been reading no monitor detected. So give it one more reset and we should actually get something. Right, third time's the charm. On the main, we've got 135k. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. While we're here, because I do show stuff for people who make the boot shot to these. I'm not unboxing it today, but ooh, spoilers. Anyone who can guess what that is, Camlink. I'm still not outputting anything. Is it worth just plumbing this directly in? Oh, there it goes. There we go. Aha!
There you go.
Excellent. All right. And Windows?
No.
Oh, you went
now
into
I have
here.
to go into here. Now I have to go.
I would actually
CPU fan, ignore, and now it will actually allow it to post.
Oh, I see. Was it stuck on? Yeah. Yeah.
Because fuck ASUS boards.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the RGB on that. That's very subtle.
I enjoy subtle RGB. Subtle being off.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's a pleasant level of RGB. I like that quite a lot. Is there anything up the top? Nothing up the top, but you wouldn't see that anyway. Illuminated ports, well, although you're not going to see most of that anyway. That's the problem. Illuminated PCH and PCI Express ports look really cool, but you can't see them once there's a graphics card fitted there. That's
Do you know the other
real
thing
bummer.
that's great? Is the clearance.
Oh, is it like by... Ooh, yeah. No 3090s allowed here.
Okay.
So yes, for the people who observed, yes, it's the silver play button. It took me long enough to get it, but well, I hadn't applied for it because every time I asked, people said, "Oh, YouTube will give you a prompt when you're eligible for it." But like, it had been a year, and I was like, "Oh, I probably need to actually go somewhere and apply to get it now." But then I just jumped. I signed on to YouTube Studio like a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks ago, I think, or 10 days or so, and it just said in a banner up the top, "You're eligible for a creator reward." And I was like, "Oh, that's it." And I just had to put in the name and the address, and that's it. They've sent it to me. So yeah. So Caradog and I are going to do a little bit of test filming tonight for a behind-the-scenes update where we'll just be doing another quick walk around of the shop, just going, here's where we're up to at the moment, because it's been a while. And then we're... Oh, we got a problem? Audio issues again. Oh, okay, yeah.
No, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. That did.
When you accidentally promote the spammer to moderator.
So may I just point out?
Yeah.
Cinebench 61C.
Yeah. Yeah. we're Cinebenching. We've got no fan on this at the moment, so we are running 100% passive.
Oh, that's nutty.
How much do you reckon the temperature would drop if I just blow through the heatsink?
A reasonable amount. Oh god.
It was worth a try. That would have been really funny if it had just dropped down to 59 or something like that. That would have been funny.
Oh god, if this completes a full pass and doesn't hit like 70.
Yes. Anyway, what was I? So yes. So yeah, Caradog and I are going to do some. We're going to record a behind-the-scenes video where I just update the contributors and Patreons on where the shop is up to, and then we're gearing up to actually record the 100,000 subscriber special because well.
Chris actually got rid of the person I just failed entirely.
Ah, okay, yes.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, it's annoyingly difficult to nuke someone in thing like this. Is the annoying thing on Twitch. If you click on a user and you click ban, it immediately just purges all of their messages out of chat. You literally just go ban and they're gone and all of their messages are gone.
Silly.
Whereas YouTube, meanwhile, you've got to delete the messages one by one or time them out, and it's frustrating.
That's absolutely silly.
The audio is popping again. Okay, yeah, it's definitely
something with the...
I think the motherboard is running out of bandwidth.
But it completed a full pass and hit 67C.
Impressive.
What the fuck?
Good. All right.
That's nuts.
This works. Let's shut it down and move on to another board. I'm going to swap out the capture cards. I'll just plug in the cam. Oh, actually, I'll plug in the crap one because we know that it won't cause problems.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. That's a bit frustrating. I'm a bit that concerns me, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't think that's the capture card. I think that's just this computer being a bit tired and having a lot of USB devices plugged into it.
Yeah.
Like, it's got 2, 3, 4, 5.
It might also just be the way that the ports are being used. Like,
we could probably swap them around into a specific configuration where everything works.
Yeah.
But like, I don't got time for that. I want to plug. The point of USB is you plug it in and it works.
Absolutely. God, I love SecuFirm. Just the amount of how easy it is.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Very nice. Okay, let's switch to that one. Okay, right. So the popping should disappear now. Time to streaming PC for the shop. I'm not going to do it now because we're 2 hours into the stream and I've not prepared. I think this could be a next week project because we don't really have anything in the pipeline at the moment. We kind of make up these things. Oh, those captive screws as well. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's lovely. Yeah. Tasty. Yeah, I think that might be rebuilding the stream PC. That could be a job for next week. What I'll do is I'll have a look around because I'll have to. Yeah, I mean we've got memory for it, so that's no problem. That ballistics looks really good in there, actually, doesn't it?
As long as it's actually some good RAM.
I think. Well, I don't think it's mind nut blowing. I think it's like 3200 C16 or something like that.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, that's fine. I was just making sure it wasn't some bastard 2133 kit.
No.
Dressed up to look fancy.
No. I think I've got some Corsair Vengeance LPX 2133 or 2400 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the RAM that I was using, because that was the highest clock speed my board would do.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Yes.
So it was just something like an H610 or something.
Yeah.
So it's just running an i3.
But yeah, that ballistics actually looks really good in that board. Yeah, I think we'll rebuild the stream PC with this. So yeah, I'll need to decide what hardware is going in there, but I'll think about that during the week and decide what we're doing, because like part of me really wants to, because also at some point I want to get the YouTube rig. I've been downgrading it to be anti-show PC because it sits under the desk and no one sees it. So I've been like taking out lights and stuff like that. But part of me also now is thinking like, oh, come on, with a board like that, I want to show it off again. And I kind of want to dress up this PC into something that looks visually spectacular, just so when it does get a camera shot, it looks amazing, you know? Yeah. Because like also, I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but the standing desk people got back to me and they're sending me a standing desk.
Sweet.
And I'm going, part of the review for that, I'm going to see if it can be used for this bench. It's not going to be long enough, so we might go for a double bench setup, but I want to see if it can take the weight of the monitors and the gear and not be wobbly and stuff like that. Because I got a feeling that by the time I've hung a double 24-inch monitor arm off of it, I think it's going to wobble. And it's going to be like, you know, I don't think it's going to be stable once you've got all of this on it, especially because it's just a cheap Amazon Chinese thing, you know. Well, I say cheap, they're a couple of £100, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to test it. But if that was actually viable and it worked, the PC would end up being next door on show. So, yeah.
Oh, damn. This has a slow mode switch.
A slow mode switch? What does a slow mode do? Does it go very slowly through post or something?
It runs stuff slow, so you can take your screenshots after your suicide run.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. It's also got retry, safe boot. Holy shit.
It's a good board, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
That's the thing.
It's
a Maximus, yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually a Maximus that actually has the stuff.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Because there were a couple of generations which were properly disappointing.
Yeah, I was going to say,
didn't
we see a fancy board recently that might have been a Maximus where we were just like, it looks pretty and it has the brand on it, but it's not actually that impressive. Not the Sabertooth, although the Sabertooth is a good example.
That was also kind of our comment on this board, of just the fact of it's okay.
Yeah.
But like the BIOS on it's a bit crap.
It's okay, but considering it's a special edition board, it's not actually very good.
And also the fact of like it's got a mem OK button and stuff like that, so you can force much higher overclocks and stuff on the memory and things like that. But
although, again, like we took all of the stupid this is the Sabertooth board that we've demonstrated a couple of times on stream. We've taken all of the plastic off of it, and like, my God, it looks so good without the plastic.
Yeah.
It's such a cool looking board without the plastic on it.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this last week after the stream. We were just like, why did they cover it all up? It looks really good with just the white PCB and black components. And they just completely ruined it by covering it all in plastic. In a way, I'd wager it's the same deal with this, with all of the plastic on it as well. But
is this plastic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah. But on the flip side, though, at least this doesn't need stupid VRM fans all over it. Yeah. You know,
well,
I mean, hell, that's got water block on it.
You can water cool your VRM because of
EK,
course.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also. I think these are PCIe switches.
Yeah, that's probably a genuine 16. Oh no, that's an 8x slot.
But it's probably a CPU 8 slot.
Oh,
so
I see.
It takes that and then gives you 8x8 to the CPU as opposed to chipset CPU.
Is that what they mean by bifurcation?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've never fully understood the deep dive on that and how it works. So you can run one slot in 16x or two slots in 8x to the CPU.
Yeah, it's like with the whatever the hell the newest Intel chipset is, Z670.
Z690.
Z690.
Yeah.
A lot of the boards have switches, so you've got PCIe Gen 5 to the first slot and to the second slot, whether it's by 8x8.
Yeah.
Or primary slot by 16.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Very cool. Good. Let's see. Firephone asks, what did we select for the kid? Liam is getting an i3 12100F with a Radeon 6600 XT. Basically, do you guys remember several weeks or a month ago or so, Caradog and I were specking up the best value PC we could manage. We went 12th gen i3 with a Gigabyte Z690 motherboard. You remember that stream? Basically, that's what we're building. So that was originally built to be how cheap can we go, but the only thing that was limiting in it was that we were speccing it with a second-hand graphics card. So basically, we're taking that spec PC, but because we managed to min-max that spec really well, there's enough money to slap a 6600 XT in there. So he actually gets a decent graphics card, considering our budget is just under £1,000. And yeah, it's going to be great. I've got to set up for that because we're going to be building and recording tomorrow. So he's coming in tomorrow, and we're going to be building that. There won't be a stream or anything, but we'll be recording the video build, and that video is probably going to be out in. It won't be out this week. I'll do something else. It's probably going to be out in about a week or 10 days or something like that would be my estimate. I'll get it out as soon as possible just so we can tie up a bow on the whole story. But yeah, he's gonna he is because to be absolutely truthful, the basic computer is already built because it was one of the demo PCs in the shop. Because after we spec'd it, I bought all the parts and I built it and I put it out on sale. And he came in and so we could talk about it. And I said, look, this is what I'd recommend. Basically, this. However, what case would you like? We can swap out the case. We can get the case in a different color. We can get a different case. And I gave him a couple of different options. I said, you could get this or this. Here's the advantage of this, this, and this. And he said, I actually quite like that one, which is a white Corsair 220T, which is what it's in at the moment. And I was like, we can use that one, So yeah, it's basically already built. But what I'm going to do is we're going to do the YouTube thing where we take it apart and then build it on camera again. But that's how YouTube works. You know, whenever you watch a Linus Tech Tips video where he's building up a computer, it's already been built, then disassembled, then it gets built on camera, and then after they've filmed it, they disassemble it again. Except this time, Liam will actually be taking it home. So, but yes, he's very excited. He was, he was super into it. He was just like, it looks really good. It's everything that he had dreamed of, basically. It's what he really wanted, but couldn't. I guess we'll leave the ballistics in there, because I'm not using it in anything else at the moment.
Oh. Ah.
What's that? Wi-Fi antenna?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looking at what's in this box.
Fair enough. Looks like all the accessories are there, which is nice. Right, let's switch back to that camera for a sec.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Do you remember when these were a thing?
Oh, yeah. SLI bridges. Yeah, they always had a heckin' SLI bridge in your motherboard box.
Yeah.
For the 2 people who ever used them. I'm surprised they bothered supplying those. Like, if you're actually going SLI, it doesn't kill you to just buy an SLI bridge when you buy your 2 graphics cards.
Yeah, but also it's a ROG Maximus.
I suppose, yeah. Well, they always came in cheap motherboard boxes as well.
True.
Like, I've very rarely bought expensive motherboards that goes in there.
Yeah, I was just wondering if this went on this.
Yeah. Oh, it won't go in there with the memory. I'll just take the memory out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Just stick this back on the shelf.
What?
Where was I? Yes, so that's all getting done tomorrow, and it's going to be great. That should just close.
Ah,
yeah,
no.
there you go. Yeah,
it lifts and then closes.
Yeah, needlessly fancy box. But I guess when you're paying what £500 for a motherboard, I should kind of hope it comes in a nice box, really. Let's see. You got an SLI cable from a Voodoo 2. Can you use it on your 1080? No, you cannot. However, that's still very cool. So yeah, our 6600 XT's at a good price right now. They've been floating around the £400 mark, haven't they?
Yeah.
And all things considered, £400 or $400, because it's going to be about $400, I'd imagine, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they were going for like $500-ish.
Oh, okay. Well, £400 is a good price. US prices, I'm not sure, because the problem is that the stock levels are different between Europe and the US. So as such, the pricing is different as well. So it's very difficult to tell. However, so far, the 6600 XT, right now, I think is probably the best bang for buck you can find at the moment, because they are holding a reasonable price compared to their NVIDIA counterparts. You know, like the 6600 XT, it lands between the 3060 and the 3060 Ti, being much closer to the 3060 Ti. It's basically a little bit slower than a 3060 Ti, but it costs like £100 less, you know, which makes it extremely good bang for buck right now. And it will take a pretty good swing at 1440p gaming. You know, like you can, if you're running like AA games, you can expect to be playing 1440p 160 Hz. If you're playing AAA games, yeah, that's where it's going to start coming apart. But if you're playing like AA games, you'll get 1440p high refresh on that. Again, respect it for what it is, but it's pretty good in my opinion. Why don't you use my Antec PSU? Just because the GameMax was the first one to hand. The Antec is over there. It's just this one was a bit closer. I knew where it was. So yeah. €530. What's the euro to pound at the moment? 530 euros to GBP. It is £443. That's a bit dear still. But again, the problem is, just on a shelf anywhere.
Yeah, do you actually have a LiPo charger?
I do, yes.
You will need to use it. It needs charging.
Oh, was it flat? Oh, okay, yeah.
It's down to 13 volts.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I suppose it has just put a load into that thing, hasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, £443 equivalent, so €530. I think that's a bit high, but the thing is, it depends what else is available. Like, if you need to buy a graphics card today and you have to buy whatever is available and you want to buy something that is brand new, you've got to buy what is available. And if the 6600 XT is €530 and a 3060 Ti is €600, then yes, the 6600 XT is very good bang for buck. However, as I say, they are about in the UK for around about the £400 marker, or they have been seen at £400. And that's a much more sensible price. So, you're playing games on a 6600 8GB, 1440p, no issues. Yeah. The 6600 XT, it didn't get favourable reviews, but I think it's fine, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was... What happened to the 6600 XT in the reviews? It was an issue with memory bandwidth or something like that, wasn't it? That made it just not as good at the top end of 1440p as it should have been? Or was it just simply that the 3060 Ti is just better?
I don't know specifically. From what I saw of reviews, it felt like it got reviewed very poorly.
Yeah, because like
as in the reviews of it were very badly done.
Yeah,
because all the ones I saw were like, oh yeah, it's 2% slower than a 3060 Ti, but 8% cheaper. Therefore, it's not worth buying.
Yeah,
sort of thing. And I was like,
this is the thing, because a lot of the reviews, like the video titles and the thumbnails, were super pessimistic about it, and but I've had a couple in the shop, and I test drove one. I took a 6600 XT home. And I used it over a weekend, and I streamed on it and everything because I wanted to know if.
Wasn't it also the only way you could get whatever that Sonic game was to actually function?
Yeah, there was a Sonic game that was melting with my 3070, and then just worked no problem at all on an AMD card. But yeah, I wanted to see if AMD cards were actually any good at streaming, because historically, like if you're a streamer or you're doing video recording, you want NVENC. End of discussion. So I have not daily driven an AMD graphics card in a long time because I wanted NVENC. And I was like, okay, look, it's been a while. Is the RDNA 2 video encoder actually any good? And the answer to that is yes, it works just fine. And so for that reason now, I'm just like, awesome. Because for a while, AMD have had some nice graphics cards, but I couldn't recommend them because the person was just like, I might want to do some streaming at some point. I'm like, you're going to want NVIDIA then. However, the 6600 XT, I took it home, I streamed on it, I played Deep Rock Galactic at 1440p, maximum settings, 160 Hz, no problem. And I was like, this is fine. I don't know why everyone hates this graphics card, it's fine. Like, I mean, if you're running it at 4K, you're going to have a bad time, but like...
It's also 6600.
That's right. Why are you trying to run a mid-range graphics card at 4K? Yeah. But for 4K, you need a top-end graphics card, because the performance penalty is enormous. So yeah, only thing available here is the 3050. Yeah. The 3050, I don't know how viable it is. I have...
It's fine, but it's also the case of it's not worth more than £300.
Yeah. It's basically... Yeah. I think that's a graphics card where you can buy it, but do not pay more than £300 for it. Like, I just did a whole spiel.
Well, it's like the 6600 XT is don't pay more than $440 for it.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair
kind of thing. 3060 Ti is fine, but don't spend more than $500 for it.
Yeah, there has to be a price ceiling for anything at some point.
The 3070 is don't pay more than £700 for it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So each card has a top out. The 3090 is a great card as long as you're not paying more than £2,400 for it.
Yeah. 2,400. Oh,
that kind of thing. But in the market now, it's a good card as long as you're not paying more than £2,000 for it.
Yeah.
In the market 6 months ago, it was good as long as you weren't paying more than, $2,400 for it.
Yeah.
In 6 months' time, it will be a good card as long as you're not paying more than about $1,400 for it.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
it's being replaced.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. Yeah.
At least on paper.
Yeah.
Yes, because the rumours are that there's going to be about 17 3090 Ti's made.
Yeah.
And all of them are going to be Kingpin editions.
And end up being in the hands of YouTubers, I'd imagine, as well.
Probably.
in which case they'll sit on a shelf forevermore. Which is not a criticism, by the way. It's just, yeah, that's what happens. But yeah, I don't know. It was like It was like the 3070 Ti. Was it the 3070 Ti that just never existed, or was it the Founders Edition of it? Yeah, it was the Founders Edition of it, I think. The 3070 Ti Founders was a paper launch. There were review models got sent out, but like I think they actually manufactured about 10 of them. What do you need?
A cooler.
A cooler.
And some RAM.
A cooler? Okay. Right. On account that AMD coolers are something that I don't have in high demand at the moment, so we're gonna stick the test cooler on it because it's a potato CPU anyway. Right.
It's there.
It is there.
Okay. Very well.
Right. So that's going on there, and you need RAM. I'll go and get the Crucial Ballistics again. Right, we'll do a quick test run.
I'm just gonna go like that.
Oh, right, yes, hang on a sec. Let me... Sorry for the scraping noise in front of the microphone. 3070 Ti is reasonably around doing drops. Yeah, I was thinking of the Founders Edition. Yeah. It does exist.
Which ones are first? Which ones are first? Any? None? Hold on.
2 and 4, I'd imagine. It's always 2 and 4. I'm going to get a graphics card.
Huh.
You know what?
Maybe. This like one of 5 AMD boards is actually T topology. Oh no. They're numbered. Never mind. Don't mind me, I'm just being silly.
Since we want to test this for gaming, and since we're talking about it...
That is a large card, isn't it?
That's a 6600 XT.
It is very vertical.
Yes.
Dude.
Can you do this for me? I'm so cack-handed right now. It was in my right hand, but I was not remotely at the correct angle for inserting a graphics card.
I'll be kind. Fuck you.
200 GE, right.
We'll see if this posts and functions.
I would say, I think it should do.
I mean, it should do, because it's a B450, it's not
that's
B550
right.
or X570.
Yeah, B450 with the 200 GE. That should be a working combination.
It should function.
Yeah. I mean, we use the term function loosely because this is a 2-core, 2-thread CPU.
Splat. Wiggle. Let's try and remotely center it.
Look, I think my wristwatch makes more heat than that CPU does, so I think we'll be all right. So, both wasted? No, I'm slurred. I'm slurred. Has Bitcoin died now? No, not yet. It's a very uncertain market right now, so I think a lot of people have gotten cold feet and are bailing just in case the bottom of the market drops out. But
they're bailing just in case the market falls out their bottom.
Yeah, but so I think a lot of people have got cold feet right now, but I don't think it's dead. Okay, right. Let's see.
State.
The good old Arctic MX4. It's Arctic MX5 at the moment, actually. I don't know why I'm putting it under this camera because we're not using that camera at the moment. Let's switch to the bench cam and show the jank. And also the back of Caradog's head.
Does that work?
Yeah, yes. Into there. Yeah.
I was making sure I had the orientation correct.
Yeah. Does everyone like our 45-degree fan? It's for speed. Anyway, yeah, we've got Arctic MX5 at the moment.
Good.
I have mixed opinions about the MX5. It works, but it's very thin and goopy, which makes it's very difficult to keep it clean. I might buy MX4 next time just because it's a nicer composition.
Graham,
yes.
What part of that was inserted correctly to you?
I'm not gonna. What? That looked... Oh, was it between the
It was literally between the two.
Okay. I thought I'd managed to put it in 180 degrees backwards then. And I was like, oh no, whatever.
It just literally wasn't on.
You're not on. What do we need? Cam link. And let's change cam link to the USB video. No idea if we've got output. Have we got any diagnostic LEDs? We're stuck. Oh, it's power cycling. That's fine. We should get a post in a sec then. We're on VGA. There we go.
Oh, good.
Okay. Right.
Oh, do you know what we do need?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this board, apparently, it cuts out under gaming. So the problem we've got here is I don't know if we've got a powerful enough CPU to actually hit it with a real load. We've put in a big graphics card, but I think this CPU is going to bottleneck us to the point where we can't properly test it. Oh, you're going to need graphics drivers as well.
Yes.
Let me get a widget. Oh, it may interest you to know, I bought a big USB Wi-Fi adapter for the Corsair.
Well. Grab my... in the back pocket of my camera bag, there's a brown box with a Wi-Fi adapter.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you wanted to see if there was a PCIe driverless one.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Good. I'll have you know there are 2 cores.
2 cores, 1 thread.
It's not an FX. Not quite, anyway.
Oh, God. That's actually closer to the truth than we care to admit, isn't it?
Yes, the back pocket. Sorry.
I'm just going to bring your bag over because I don't know how this bag works.
Okay.
It's complicated and I'm scared.
Wrong side. The back pocket.
Ah, yes, there. Brown box. Ugh. I'll put that there. And now I shall...
you have let go of the front. Whoops.
Yep,
There you go. There we go.
This probably has several grams worth of lenses in it, doesn't it?
I wouldn't tell you if it did. Yes.
Okay. Yes, we. Caradog and I have been discussing Wi-Fi. Oh, those are. Did it come with those antennas as well? That's not bad, is it? And some Captain tape for our protection. That looks really smart. Let's just quickly switch to the bench cam. So just a bit of backstory. Caradog and I have been discussing PCI Express Wi-Fi cards because I am... let me also grab another one of those little USB ones. So for using around the shop and or for just supplying with PCs, I recently bought a load of these, and these are just... It's a cheap 600 megabits per second Wi-Fi adapter. And the reason why I like these is that Windows has native drivers for it. So you can just plug this into any computer and it immediately has Wi-Fi. No driver installation required. And that is incredibly useful because, you know, like a lot of laptops, even ones with built-in Wi-Fi, will sometimes need a driver download. And like I've been stuck with modern laptops where I've done a clean install of Windows and it hasn't had drivers for its own Wi-Fi and it doesn't have Ethernet either, which means you've got to download the driver on another computer, put it on a flash drive and then carry it over, and it's a pain in the ass. Whereas with these, I can just plug this in and it immediately has Wi-Fi so it can download its own drivers. But USB adapters are also a bit naff. So then Caradog was just like, oh, I've been looking at PCI Express ones. So this is a PCI Express Wi-Fi card. Let's adjust the focus so you can get a nice look at it. Oh, that's a bit too much. And this is a reasonably nice card. And the interesting part is that that is Intel. Yep, that is an Intel.
It should be an AX220.
That's what I was looking for. That is an Intel AX220 chipset on it, which means despite being a cheap PCI Express adapter, it's actually really decent Wi-Fi. Or it's Wi-Fi 5, isn't it?
No, it should be 6.
Okay, Wi-Fi 6, yeah. So that should actually be a really good adapter, and it's come with some nice big-ass antennas on it. So this would also be very interesting. So should we plug this into here and restart it? Yeah, let's do that. All right, so I'll switch back to the thing. Camlink, I think we want.
That was not the power button.
Oh, you hit the reset. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever. It's off now.
Yep. Okay. Bench cam. Yeah. So, what was this called? What brand is it? Also, do we have an Amazon link for this? Just out of interest.
An Amazon link for the AliExpress card.
Oh no, is the answer to that then? Yep.
This is.
Yep. I have got an AliExpress affiliate account, but I can't figure out how to make it work. Every time I go to the admin panel for it and put in a product code to get an affiliate link, it just goes, "We can't find this product," or "This product is not eligible." I'm like, well, what is then? And yeah, so yes, that was a bit of a disaster. So I'm like, fine, I can't be asked. Amazon affiliates is so easy to do, but yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a cute little top slot. We could put that in. Nice. All right. So the interesting test for this is, does it work with no drivers? Because that will be very cool if it does. Bam. Power, please.
Also, it has got a half height.
Oh, that's nice.
Bracket, and also the USB for the Bluetooth.
Nice. Yeah. That is probably one of the biggest advantages of getting a PCI Express card like this one, is because it'll have built-in Bluetooth as well. And built-in Bluetooth is a really nice to have thing, mainly because you can use an Xbox controller over Bluetooth and stuff like that. So that's a nice quality of life thing.
Hello.
That one.
Hi.
Aha, we have some things.
Can you move?
All right.
You need to move us from the bottom right.
What I can do is go studio mode. Oh, actually, yeah, no, I'll just hide us. Yeah, because then other people can see. That one. Oop. That's not it. Oop. Really?
What are
there
you
we
doing?
Go. I'm trying my hardest.
Jesus Christ.
Every day it hurts a little more. The brand of the small USB Wi-Fi dongle. Chris S might know, because Chris S originally sent me the link for it. Oh, that looks like a no for driverless. Yeah, that's a no, isn't it? I mean, check device manager.
I guess. I can barely make out what any of the text actually says, because it's gone pixelated to all hell on that preview.
Yeah, just device manager.
This preview is fine. Device manager. Hon. Wee. Ah, no. Unknown device.
Yeah.
Rip.
Network controller. Yeah, that's fine. Oh well.
So if I do...
Yeah, so if we plug this in, now Windows Update...
Oh no, that was a USB port.
Yeah.
I thought I just shoved it into something that wasn't a USB port.
USB will fit into an Ethernet port.
Yes.
That's how you can make it go faster. Anyway, cool. Yeah, if you hit Windows Update, and then it should find drivers. Or are you just expecting it to just ping up now in a minute? Are you still hung up on my side joke there? It's finding things. Off it goes. Let's see.
Oops.
Yes, as I say, these USB doodads, as I say, don't expect high quality or anything like that, but they're like £5 or £6 each or something like that, which means you can just chuck them in the back of stuff at virtually no cost. Because that's what I wanted, was when someone bought a computer and they're like, "Oh, I want wireless on that, by the way," and I was just like, "Oh, we didn't discuss this." I can just lob one in there and be like, "There you go, it now has wireless." So yeah. As a side note, another adapter I've been checking out, which doesn't work driverless. I don't think so. Anyway, I need to double check, but I also have been testing out the TP-Link. Where is it? The TP-Link Archer T3U Plus. This guy is also very cool because it's put my hand behind it so you can see the size of the antenna on this boy. It's got a big ass antenna on it, same size as these ones. And again, it's a multi-in, multi-out antenna. And this guy has also so far been quite good. I had a friend who was having a bad time with wireless. He bought one of these and all of his wireless problems disappeared. So that was pretty cool. I'm going to swap sides again before I start drinking your cider. Right.
This Windows install is also fractionally unhappy.
Is this the one? Did we remake it, or is this still the broken one?
It's still the unhappy one. It's not broken, it's just unhappy.
Ah, okay, yeah. What was unhappy about it again? I remember.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it has just been made unhappy.
Yeah.
So I need to fix it at some point.
It runs from preloaded drivers. Yeah, okay, yeah. When I say driverless, yes, we mean preloaded drivers, native drivers perhaps, drivers that Windows already has built into it from a clean install. It does not require separate installation or download of drivers. So yeah. Do you need to connect SATA power? For that Wi-Fi card, no. The Wi-Fi card does not require SATA power. It does need a USB cable connecting for the Bluetooth. So it's got a USB header cable that will plug into your motherboard. So do keep that in mind. I really hate it when Windows Updates does this and it just sits on this spinner screen. I don't think that's going to load. Have we got the... We've got the Windows... We've got the restart prompt. I would restart it, and I think it'll come good. I think if we leave it on this screen, I think we'll be waiting for quite a while. So yeah, update and restart. Then we need to check if it's picked up a graphics driver, and then we can actually try hitting it with a load and see if the motherboard falls over. Excellent. Hidden fake CD drive in the USB device. Some of them do. These particular ones don't do that. I have seen products that do that, and I'm not a fan of it. I have mixed opinions about that. When they have the built-in, CD drive emulator for the drivers, that's actually a really good idea. Because it means that it can run driverless in that it can supply its own drivers. However, I would prefer a device where Windows already has drivers for it, which is what these ones are. Because then it doesn't need the important thing is it doesn't need the installation either. Because, as I say, these USB ones, you plug them in, and like literally in 10 seconds, you will have Wi-Fi networks. Why not update the BIOS first? I don't know yet. I guess we want to see what the baseline is before we start fiddling with it. We'll just see how it behaves first. I would absolutely BIOS update this, but also the latest BIOS might drop CPU support and stuff like that. I don't know if we're going to get any good results out of this because I think the CPU we've put in it is going to bottleneck us. Have we got graphics yet before you hit it with anything? And our survey says...
No idea.
Yeah, check device manager. Or are you just going to see if it's detected by hardware info?
Well, no, it was more the fact I was making sure we weren't thermal throttling into the Stone Age.
Oh, I see,
because everything was slow.
Oh, yeah. No, it's slow because it's a 200 GE.
Yeah.
You're heading out. No problem. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, looks like it. Some sort of driver.
Groovy. Yeah. The choppy frame rate is just a bad capture as well. That's why I don't like this capture card. When I did a review of this capture card, there were lots of people in the comments that were just like, I use these, they're fine. I'm just like, you must have a different one to this then. And then there were some people who were like, oh, I'm looking at the preview and I can't see the difference. I'm just like, Right. GPU UPI. What is this test then?
No, it's GPU Pi.
GPU Pi. Okay, yeah.
I'm going to have a look at stuff. Oh yes, we can run it on the Athlon GE. Let's not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think part of me is just like, yeah, let's do that because it'll be a really funny comparison. But the other part of me is just like, no, that Athlon needs everything.
Error, device ran out of resources.
Oh. Was that for the...
Calculation aborted due to invalid partial result.
Oh.
Interesting.
Fine. Have we got Heaven installed on this thing?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me grab a flash drive with Heaven on it, and we'll just hit it with Heaven.
What? Ran out of resources. What? Try reducing the reduction size. Okay.
Also, Heaven looks cool.
Let's put that to the minimum.
Oh. Where the heck is my toolkit flash drive?
Hey, there we go.
Oh, is it running now?
Yes.
Is it spitting out really cool looking numbers?
No.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, something about this is unhappy.
As in just stability. Yeah. That might be indicative of the fact that we have reason to believe that the board has problems.
Let's do that. See what that does? No? No idea.
I swear, no matter how bright and colourful I make the lanyards on my flash drives, I still manage to lose them.
I still don't understand why you don't put them back.
They're all there, except the one that I want.
Therefore you have not put it back.
Well, yes, but also no. It's in my pocket, isn't it? No, it's not in my pocket. Okay. Oh, I had it. I literally had it. It's here. It was in front of me. I looked it in the eye, and it winked at me.
Good job. You did it.
All right.
Boop, boop, boop. Oh, what did I chuck on here? Oh, no, I didn't chuck any installers on here. Fine. Okay. I thought I chucked installers on C at some point. But no. You took it?
Yeah. I think Heaven is there. Oh, yes. Heaven and Superposition are both there. We could probably superposition this card. Oh, Heaven is smaller, though. Up to you. Heaven's good enough, isn't it? Yeah, and it'll be quicker to install.
Oops.
Oh, Windows and your single-threaded. Oh well, actually, I don't think it's anything to do with the Windows single-threaded unzipper. So
it's also because I attempted to launch it before it copied. That was not my intent.
Do you want to bring up Task Manager and just leave the CPU visible? Just because I think that would be funny. I just want to see the CPU spiking to 100% doing really basic stuff. Oh, it is 4 threads. Well then, how about that? It's got Vega graphics, everyone.
It vaguely has graphics, everyone.
You can also use Valley for GPU test. Valley's kind of old, though. That's the problem. Valley will just max out on anything. I mean, Heaven has that problem to a certain extent. It's why there are new ones every now and then, because, you know, like, Heaven is an old test, and this is a very modern graphics card. Superposition would be a much better choice for this. However, it's quicker to get into Heaven. But, yeah, Valley is mid-noughties, isn't it? Because wasn't Heaven like 2011 or something like that?
I don't know.
I think this benchmark is about 10 years old. Heaven is older than Valley. Oh, is it? Oh, I thought Valley came before Heaven. Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Yeah, I thought Valley was the old one.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh my god. We'll get there. All right. What is that frame rate? 100 FPS, and I assume that the CPU is maxed out.
Probably. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we're bottlenecked into the Stone Age, so. Yeah, I suppose you could. Yeah, the only way of testing this board properly is going to be to put a proper CPU in it, which means pulling a CPU out of one of my demo PCs. I mean, it hasn't died on us yet, but again, we're bottlenecked into the Stone Age right now, so that kind of doesn't mean anything. Use superposition if it's particularly good, but heaven for anything else. Yeah, I think that might be one of the reasons why I thought Valley was older, because no one uses it. Yes, the Windows unzipper is single-threaded, which is why the Windows unzipper seems to be so astonishingly slow. And it's why everyone should always use 7-zip for everything, basically.
So,
what have you found?
720p minimum settings, 110 FPS. 1080p ultra settings, 100 FPS.
Yeah.
We dropped 10 FPS because we're so CPU bound.
Yeah. That's terrible, man. Fair enough. Okay.
Oh, 140.
Ooh.
Also, why is it buzzing?
It's the GameMax power supply. That's coil wine is courtesy of GameMax.
That coil wine?
Yeah.
Not that coil wine.
What, are you hearing two coil wines?
That coil wine. It's gone now. Sounds more like a moth dying.
It's really hard to tell where that coil wine is coming from because there's like it's a cheap graphics card, it's an untrusted motherboard, and it's a GameMax power supply. There's a lot of places where the coil wine could be coming from right now.
Clearly there is some GPU load because the fans are spinning.
Yes.
So you haven't at least managed to hit the point where there is some CPU load.
That means that it's over. That means it's over 50 degrees. Yeah.
It is over 15 degrees.
I'm trying to figure out if that's coming from the CPU VRM or not. No, it can't be. This CPU probably uses 20 watts.
I will tell you in a moment.
Actually, yeah, hit it with Cinebench. That'll answer that question, won't it? If we get coil wine in Cinebench, then it's the CPU VRMs.
Where is it?
Because like your CPU VRM should not be coil whining.
CPU package power. We hit a high of 8 watts. What?
It could be. Like this. Like again, if anyone is in doubt, I don't think you understand how bad this CPU is.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. No. Sorry. 16 watts.
Okay, including the SoC, yeah.
There we go. That makes far more sense.
Well, we have to add on the SoC to make it a realistic looking number, whereas with any other CPU, the SoC would be so trivially insignificant it wouldn't matter. What about the PC for the kid from last week? It's being built and recorded tomorrow. Yeah, being built and recorded tomorrow. I did a big old conversation about that earlier on, so I'm not going to go over all the details again. But yeah, it's happening tomorrow. So the video will probably be out. We're recording tomorrow. The video will probably be out in a week or 10 days or so. Oh boy. Right. Silence for a moment. I want to see if I can hear coil whine.
I can't.
No. We're not waiting for this. I'm not hanging around for this.
Oh, God.
That's a no from me.
Heaven help anyone who has to use this. Oh, 18 watts!
Oh. It, like, 50% of this CPU's power draw is its SoC.
Do you think you can overclock it?
Maybe if we overclock the RAM, it'll go faster. No, absolutely not. No, we're not doing this. Right, I think the coil one was from the graphics card because it's a cheap graphics card. I mean, well, cheap is unfair. These graphics, it's a 6600 XT, and these graphics cards are built down to a price. And plus, also, coil whine is not indicative of a cheap card. It's just something that happens now and then. Although I might just be saying that because my 3080 Ti has mad coil whine and it upsets me. SoC is system on chip. So a modern CPU, it has a little controller on it and it has cores. The cores actually do the work and the controller hands out the work to the cores. And that controller is called the SoC. So in a very broad sense, the SoC is the control unit of the CPU. And then that manages the cores that are actually doing the legwork. So yeah, typically your SoC is... Does the SoC include the memory controller? I think it does, doesn't it? Which I think is one of the reasons why SoC is relevant. Because I think the memory controller is on the SoC. Might depend on architecture though. This is an Athlon 200 GE, so yeah, I don't even think that's even Zen. I think that might be.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
so I know they, for some reason, ported some Bulldozer stuff to Socket AM4.
Yeah. I have
for some reason.
I have a suspicion the Athlon 200
also,
GE might be Bulldozer architecture.
That one. Hey, so. Did it! First time.
Aha.
MLG Pro or something. Insert air horn noises
yes. Chris, your 3080 Ti doesn't have coil whine? Yeah, maybe I did get unlucky. The other possibility is, which some people recently were saying how the Corsair RM series power supplies are notorious for coil whine, and I have got an RM850 in my PC at home. So I'd forgotten about this just then, but now you've just reminded me of it. It might be my power supply, so I actually need to actually like stick my ear up to the computer and confirm whether it's the graphics card or not. 200G is Zen 1. Fair enough.
Yeah, there are a couple of random ones that I think were like Bulldozer. Well, not Bulldozer, but Godvari ported. It's just like, why?
Horrifying. Yeah.
Quite so. But yes.
Yeah, that's the when it comes to those kinds of CPUs, sometimes you end up with you think the amount of work it must have been to port this, surely that is more than the cost of just throwing out that silicon. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I would imagine so, but also it's not my day job.
No. Fair enough. Right, okay. So we can't really go any further than this without getting a better CPU in this. And I've got other CPUs we could put in this, but they're in other computers, and that will take a while to pull out. So I'm not going to do that now. We're up to the 3-hour marker, so unless there's anything else you want to do while we've got this thing set up, I think this is going to need further testing another time.
No, we are going to probably have to manually install drivers for that.
Oh yeah, has it not managed to
No, but
that's
also Windows Update was having a world-class confusion.
Yeah, so drivers for the AliExpress Wi-Fi card are inconclusive.
You'll probably just need to install the Intel drivers for Wi-Fi stuff, because Intel have been weird about their drivers for a while, as far as I can tell, and not provided just an installer for their drivers. But you have to download an update program to then search your computer for updates, to then find driver packages, to then install driver packages, for it then to say this hardware is not compatible, even though the program found the driver.
I despise that.
And I'm just like, can we go back to just having drivers that are 14 kilobytes, please?
Yeah, like I don't mind companies making available a automatically detect drivers thing, because for some people that's probably useful. However, please provide just a clean drivers only package for power users to use. For people like us who know exactly what we've got and exactly what we want, just get we want an INF and a sys file. That's it. That's all I need. Just something that makes it work. I don't want your software, don't want your utilities, I don't want your installer, just the driver. That's all I care about. Bin the rest of it. Still, yeah, that thing's probably going to be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It just looks like we'll need to have to do some stuff and things.
Yeah. However, that much being said, while it would have been really cool if that works with built-in drivers, I still think that's a useful device. And once we've confirmed that works with another computer, I'm still. How much did you pay for it in the end? Like £20 or something, wasn't it?
30 quid, I think.
Yeah. I'm still inclined to put like 2 of them on order from AliExpress and just keep them on the shelf. So if I'm building up a PC and someone's just like, I want it to have mad Wi-Fi, I've got an option for a PCI Express Wi-Fi card that just saves me from having to buy a Wi-Fi motherboard, because sometimes that's just not available.
I wondered if this was just the standard keying.
It should be.
But as in just the standard M keying, not the G keying.
Yeah, they have multi ones to fit in multi things, but yeah. However, most motherboards...
my thing was then going to be, can I literally just go...
Oh, not into one of those, no. It needs to be a... not NGFF. There's another...
Yeah, it needs to be a G slot.
Yeah. Yeah. In any case, though, most motherboards that have built-in Wi-Fi have something very similar to that built into them. So, fine. Let's have a look. Okay. AM4 included Athlon X4 CPU excavator. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Quite horrifying.
Yeah. Am I planning on running Linux anytime soon? No, is the short answer.
The long answer is no.
Yeah. Well, I have no interest in Linux. I know what it does. I know what it can do. I know what it's used for. I don't care. Is the short answer.
None of those things are things that I do.
No. I don't get me wrong. For what it's used for, Linux is very good. It's excellent, but I just don't have any interest in it. Is the important thing there. So when I say no and I don't care, that's not me disparaging Linux. That's just me saying this is not something I'm interested in. Basically, it's not a field of interest to me. So yeah, it's not something I'm going to be looking in for. Like I have like a Ubuntu Live install on a flash drive at any given time, because occasionally it's exactly what you need. However, I run it out of necessity, not because I actually have any interest in Linux myself. So yeah. Let's see. Open another can and continue the stream. No, we're at the 3-hour marker, and also I should eat something. So, and we've got more stuff to look at, but we'll save that for another time. We've looked at a couple of things though. Is that 3 boards we just? Yeah, 3 boards we just went through. So we've got an Intel board. Well, I mean, 2 of them we already knew would work anyway. But we have confirmed that they have survived shipping and just sort of gone, yeah, these are good. And also, like, it had not occurred to me to put that Maximus board in the YouTube rig, but now that idea has been floated, I'm like, yeah, we're doing that. So yeah, we'll stick the Maximus in the YouTube rig, and I'll have a ponder about other hardware. I might do a case swap, but I don't have any cases that I'd want to swap it with, if I'm honest. I'm going to see what I can find for the 400C, but yeah, and also cooling as well. Well, we could put one of the NZXT coolers on it.
Could do, or you could put the
one that's in there is perfectly good.
Yeah,
but
it's
just a case of am I going to pretty it up, basically.
No idea.
Yeah, because I kind of want to pretty it up because it's a pretty motherboard. But I know I'm talking to the wrong person about that. So it'd be cool though.
Yeah, I was just thinking more of a case of what you've got.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put any money into it.
Yeah, because I was thinking if you're going to pretty it up, you should buy a cooler for it. Because then you've got a guaranteed working one, brand new, 10-year warranty, blah, 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 blah. YouTube rig won't randomly crap out in the middle of a day. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just because it records your videos, it would be incredibly unfortunate for it to fall over in the middle of one.
This is true.
And then you not be able to continue for a while.
Yeah. But again, I think one of those NZXT Krakens will do the job just fine because we know that those things do actually work. It requires an extended test, but I mean, like what I might do is rig up that board on the back bench, just hook it up to one of these monitors and just leave it running for 24 hours
and
with loop.
Also just find which one of the two is the good one.
Yeah.
Because one is a good one and one is a not as good one.
Because the YouTube rig doesn't see any major loads because all of the legwork is done in the graphics card.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I just meant if the pump fails.
Yes.
And it sits there and then goes.
Yeah, a pump failure would be a bit of a problem. Yeah.
So
yeah. Very good.
Very well.
Yeah. Teltac be like, imagine using servers. Yeah, absolutely. Although, yeah, Teltac doesn't actually physically exist anymore. I'm fairly certain that he is entirely powered by AWS. He has transmuted his entire body into AWS.
He has become an S3 bucket.
Yes. He is entirely what's the term for it? Containerized. Yep, he's containerized and can run on a single instance. Linux does what you want it to do, not what Apple or MS want. Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a really reasonably good run with every other operating system doing what I want it to do. I go start program, it starts the program.
Yeah, that's the thing. There is stuff that runs in the background of Windows and macOS that doesn't need to run. But at the same time, I'm just like...
I like it when my USB ports work when I plug stuff in.
Yeah.
Therefore, it has to run in the background.
We can have a discussion on this. Yeah, we can have a discussion on this. But also, I'm just like, it's not for me. It's not for me. So yeah. Your serverless screw containers. Fine. Let's see. Anything else to cover? Are you searching for the stop stream button?
Yes.
Yeah. Minimize OBS.
Well, because I'm intrigued as to why clicking on it didn't bring it to the front.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, hello?
Yeah. What are my thoughts on the Steam Deck since that's Linux? I think the Steam Deck is awesome. However, and I think the Steam Deck is actually very, very exciting for Linux. Because, to clarify, when I say I don't have any interest in Linux, I don't have any interest in learning Linux because there's no benefit to it for me. However,
basically.
I think the Steam Deck is going to be massively beneficial to the Linux community, and I think that will be great. So make no mistake, I'm not against Linux, and I would like to see Linux become really good, and I think the Steam Deck will be really good for Linux because it's going to... that is a product that will put millions of units into the market, which means you will have potentially millions of gamers running a Linux-based system. And that is very significant. So that will be very exciting. I'm just not interested in being a trailblazer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Also, the fact of it's a portable device.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
A case of
the Steam Deck is really cool, but I don't need it. It's not something that's
it's
useful
really cool.
to me.
It's a portable device, but it's like, or I could play on my very expensive computer.
Yeah. I don't have a use for one.
Kind
because,
of thing. So,
yeah. Like, if
I don't commute.
Yeah.
Other than when I am driving the vehicle, and playing video games whilst driving a vehicle is a bad idea.
It's frowned upon, yeah.
Yes.
If I was taking a 1 hour train journey every day, I would absolutely want a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
However, yeah, as I say, it's not something that I have a use for. So yeah, Steam Deck, now you can install Windows. You can.
Which is cool. Which is nice.
I don't know how well it runs yet. It probably runs just fine, actually. I feel, well, if I had a Steam Deck, I would really be trying to use the Linux system on it. I would really be trying to use it as Valve intended. Because Valve, they didn't come up with this overnight. They've been working on the Steam Deck for a long time.
Well, yeah, because they started with Steambox.
Exactly.
Steambox?
Yeah. Steam Deck has been a very, very long time in the making.
Yeah, hence them being... is it 3rd generation now of whatever their interface layer is?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know the tech details, but
I think they're on like the 3rd generation of that.
Yeah.
And to have hit version 3 infers a certain level of development and a certain level of time spent and so on.
Yeah.
And certain major milestones reached. So.
Yeah. Because I was watching Wan Show, I think it was last week, and Linus was talking about this, and he said sort of, it started out with the Shield and stuff like that, and then what was the name of Steam's streamer box?
Steam Link,
yeah, Steam Link, the Steam box, like you say, which was Linux as well. They've put, all of these products were all leading up to a portable handheld gaming device.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
it's going to be a big deal. So yeah,
absolutely.
But I'm it's going to be a big deal. However, I'm interested as a spectator, not as a user, because I don't need one.
Yeah,
I don't have a use for.
No useful one.
Nope.
So
I'm always sitting in front of a PC, basically. So yeah, I think it's a great product. It's just not something I need. I wish I had an excuse to buy one because I think it looks cool. I really, I would love to own one, but I will never use it. That's the problem.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of the case of I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I'm waiting for at least the Generation 2 version.
Yeah, this is
before
true.
I care, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm still like, that's fine, but...
This is true. Because like we also it also depends on how much of a tinkerer you want to be, because this also harkens back to the Steam controller. And like the Steam controller, really hecking cool, but it's only cool if you like doing weird controller setups and customized controls. And but look, now I can play it using this. I'm like, I don't care. I just want an Xbox controller. So for me, the Steam controller is remarkable, but also mind-numbingly annoying when you just want to pick up a game and play it.
Yeah. Part of the Steam controller's problem, though, is the fact that every single game took out direct whatever it was.
Direct input.
Yeah. And only has Xbox controller input option.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that is. Because games literally took out the controller agnostic mode.
Well,
it makes
Windows dropped direct input. Which was the biggest problem there. Windows dropped... Well, yeah, no, it was a bit of both, actually. Windows dropped direct input, but also, like you say, most games, they made it so their target was support Xbox controller. Yeah. And once they'd met that checkbox, they didn't do any other work with it. So
Which is obviously also a problem because you can use the PlayStation 4 controller with Windows, but most games didn't support it without a whole bunch of shins, which is kind of...
That's right.
Annoying because it's literally just a controller.
Yeah, because I've got friends who are PlayStation fanboys, so obviously they liked the PlayStation controller, and they're like, yeah, I want to use my PS3 controller on a PC. And it's like, you can make it work, but it's jank.
Which is a shame.
Yeah. I mean, that was the death of my Logitech Cordless Rumble Pad 2, which I loved that controller, but it was direct input. And it meant that every time I wanted a game to work with that controller, I had to install an extra DLL in the game's folder to make it think it was an Xbox controller. And it got to the point where I'm just like, I don't have time for this, which is why I don't like Linux, because Linux, it's possible to make anything work, but I don't have time for that. I just want to run it. I just want to play it. And don't tell me it just works, because we all know that that's not true. So yeah. Anyway, I'm ranting now. I think I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
Okay. I'm pleased.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was me sort of going...
This has been a conversation in English.
I think that was me basically saying,
much.
that's all I've got to say. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. See you soon.
You for
Bye.
coming.
Video soon. Yep.
End stream.
Okay.